Hello, everyone, and welcome to Avon, Ohio, where today your Washington Wild Things take on the Lake Erie Crushers in Game 2 of a 3-game series. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Ziegler, taking you through the entire season here, the 2016 season for the Washington Wild Things. Wild Things, as we said, Game 2 of this 3-game series here at All-Pro Freight Stadium, the home of the Lake Erie Crushers. Last night, the Wild Things took Game 1 of this series by the score of 5-1. We're going to recap that here in a little bit. Also have a sit-down with Wild Things left fielder Nick Ferdinand. Drove in 3 of the team's 5 runs last night, so that's coming up. Also, going to take a look at the lineups and the first pitch in this one. Also going to clear up the pitching rotation for your Washington Wild Things, as the schedule's been a little shaky lately. We've thrown a couple double headers, and we've had to shuffle the rotation, so the starter for today and tomorrow have been announced. We'll look at both of them. This is right here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Last night, Wild Things getting the 5-1 victory in Game 1 over the Lake Erie Crushers, and it all started in inning number 2. Ricky Rodriguez would lead things off with an infield single. Max Casper played short last night for Lake Erie. A nice diving attempt to stop the ball, but he just couldn't get to his feet in time to throw Rodriguez out, so he reached on the leadoff single. Then one batter later, Nick Ferdinand came up with a runner at first and only one away and delivered his first Wild Things hit and RBI, as he had an RBI double over into center field. That scored Ricky Rodriguez and gave the Wild Things an early 1-0 lead. Wild Things would jump on the board again in the third inning, as Jimmy Yezzo and Brian Harr would walk to start things. Then Dave Popkins popped out, and Ricky Rodriguez singled to load the bases. It was another infield single for Ricky Rodriguez, and that was all for Lake Erie starter Colin Feldman. Feldman's final line on the day was 2 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 3 runs, 3 earned on just 3 hits, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. While our Lake Erie manager Chris Mogardo decided to go to Mike Devine with 2 outs in inning number 3. And Devine came in, and the first man he faced, Logan Ox, delivered a 2 RBI single into right field that scored both Yezzo and Harr and gave the Wild Things a 3-0 lead. Ferdinand would line out to end that third inning. Then, in the fourth inning, a rather peculiar situation. The Wild Things didn't score a run in the inning. However, Jamal Austin reached on a 2-out single, then moved up on a throwing error by pitcher Mike Devine, and then was caught between second and third at a very big lead. He got into a rundown and was able to escape the rundown as he dove into third base right before Max Casper dove and tagged him. So Austin beat the tag, was at third with only 1 away, and Jimmy Yezzo grounded out, leaving Austin stuck at third base, and Brian Harr would strike out, and that would end the 6th inning. The flyout would end the 4th inning, where Jamal Austin singled and stole a base. Then, in the 5th inning, Wild Things back on the board after 2 outs. Ricky Rodriguez walked, Logan Ox singled to have runners at first and second with 2 away. Then Nick Ferdinand came through a 2 RBI single, scored both Rodriguez and Ox, and that gave the Wild Things a 5-0 lead. That was it on the scoring for the day for the Wild Things, but on the mound, Trevor Foss, what can we say? He was amazing. Again, went another complete game. It's his 4th straight, complete game in his last 4 starts. He has a record of 3-1 in those 4 complete games. A complete game loss against Traverse City, 7 innings pitched there in Game 1 of a doubleheader, gave up 3 runs. Then won a 9-inning complete game against the Normal Corn Belters, and he only gave up 1 run and got the win. Then a rain-shortened 6-inning complete game back on Sunday against Evansville. Didn't give up any runs there. And last night, his line, 9 innings, just the 1 run. It was earned on 6 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts for your Wild Things starter. Foss was named the Week 4 Frontier League Pitcher of the Week, so he continues his success on the field to this point, throwing his 4th straight complete game. For the Lake Erie Crushers, they used a total of 7 pitchers in 9 innings last night. Chris Mogardo known for that. As taking a look at their pitching lines, Feldman, we said, the 2 2/3. Mike Devine, in inning a third, did not give up a run on 2 hits. Devin Malone pitched an inning. He gave up 2 runs. He gave that 2-run single to Logan Ox on 2 hits and a walk. Colby Moore pitched 2/3 of an inning, just giving up a hit. Keegan Gaddotti, 1 1/3 inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Juan Caballero pitched an inning, gave up a hit. And Ryan Richardson, in his inning. He worked the ninth. He gave up 1 hit in his inning of work. So these Lake Erie Crushers known to use a lot of pitchers in their games and rotate them to try to get the best success that they can. They currently sit in second place in the Frontier League East. Your Wild Things sitting in fourth place in the Frontier League East, as Wild Things enter the game with a record of 12-12, and the Lake Erie Crushers enter this one with a record of 13-10. We're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, we have a sit-down with Pirates outfielder Nick Ferdinand, driving in 3 of the 5 runs in last night's ball game. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network, the Washington Wild Things pregame show, for more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
For the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Currently joined by Wild Things outfielder Nick Ferdinand. And Nick, last night 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. What was working for you at the plate?
Just trying not to do too much, really. Just trying to hit the ball, get the ball in play, and try to hit it hard somewhere. And that was kind of what I wanted to do yesterday, and worked out. So.
And your second game with the Washington Wild Things, you were 0 for 3 in the first one, did reach base on a walk. When you came up in this game, was it that trying to get that first hit out of the way to get the nerves out of the way, or was it just another game?
Yeah, just another game. I mean, it always helps when you kind of can get that first knock under there. But like I said, I'm just trying to put quality at bats together. So.
And you were signed before Thursday night's game.
Yeah.
What were your first impressions walking into Consol Energy Park, seeing the guys and seeing how things are run?
Good. It's very, very well run. Still getting to know all the guys, get all the guys' names and everything. Haven't played on a turf field in a while, so this has been a kind of getting back to that has been a kind of a cool experience. It's easier on the body. A lot of guys think, and I think so too. But overall, it's been a good experience so far.
I was just about to say, going off of that, what's the differences between playing on the grass field as opposed to switching to turf here in the Frontier League?
It's definitely easier on the body in terms of you got to wear molded spikes, and the ground is a little bit more given. So those little things I guess kind of help, and the traction's always there. You don't have to worry about maybe slipping, but that's what I think. I think it's just easier on your body over the course of a long season.
And then, having your first game, was it easier having that first game at home in front of your home fans, or was it just like any other first game, getting used to the team?
It's probably a better home crowd. Baseball, we play so many games, so it's like kind of every game's kind of you want to bring it, but it's always helpful when you got a good fan base behind you.
And then finally, so far, what's it been like getting to know these guys? First 2 days, you said you're getting used to everybody. What's it been like on this team and in the clubhouse? Very
loose. A lot of the guys are still getting to know them all, but the overall impression's been it's a fun group of guys to play with, and I played with 2 of the guys previously with Jimmy Yezzo and Brandon Hinkle. We went to University of Delaware together, so that was cool. Finding out that they're on this team, and so that's been making the transition easier, to be honest.
All right, thanks, Nick. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. The Wild Things taking Game 1 of this series last night by a score of 5-1, and looking to win the series this afternoon, getting Game 2. Now, the pitching rotation for your Wild Things lately has been a little jumbled up with our schedule. We played a doubleheader on Wednesday, and all 4 of the starting pitchers have thrown in the last 5 days. Connor Kendrick was cut after that doubleheader. So the Wild Things right now only 4 main starting pitchers in the rotation: Luke Wilkins, Trevor Foss, Chase Cunningham, and Matt Frodden. So tonight's starter will be Brandon Hinkle. Hinkle was in the rotation to begin the year, but was taken out when Luke Wilkins came off of the disabled list. So Hinkle making the start tonight. And tomorrow night we'll see Sam Agnew-Wieland on the mound making the start in that one. Agnew-Wieland has made 1 appearance this year as he was on the suspended list to start things. And in that appearance, he gave up 1 run in 1 2/3 innings of work. So Agnew-Wieland gets the start tomorrow. Hinkle gets the start in tonight's game. We're just about ready for first pitch here, but first, we're going to take you down to the field for the national anthem here at All-Pro Freight Stadium. So Washington Wild Things baseball just about underway. You're listening to Washington Wild Things coverage here on the MSA Sports Network. Right now, I'm going to take you down to the field here at All-Pro Freight Stadium, and the public address announcer, Ron, will take it from here. You're listening to Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. They are currently bringing out a big flag on the field, so we'll send it down in a couple minutes. But as we said, Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. The Wild Things winning Game 1 5-1. Nick Ferdinand 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs in that game. Logan Ox, also a big day, was 3 for 4, drove in the other 2 runs. So the 2 new Washington Wild Things getting things started for the Wild Things in the game. Now we're going to send it down to the field for your national anthem here at All-Pro Freight Stadium. We're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
The military salute to the manner provided for individuals in uniform. Holding tonight's flag is Mac 153. Singing our national anthem tonight is our very own Crushers staff member, Aaron Moran.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Just heard your national anthem here at All-Pro Freight Stadium as the flag currently being taken off the field. Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things took Game 1 of this series by a score of 5-1. Brandon Hinkle, your starting pitcher tonight, and Sam Agnew-Wieland taking the hill tomorrow afternoon at 2:05 for Game 3 of this three-game series. Agnew-Wieland will be opposed by Jordan Krause for the Lake Erie Crushers. In this one, going to take a look at the defensive alignment for these Lake Erie Crushers today. In the outfield, left to right, it's Jordan, Oliver, and Norris. Left side of the infield held down by Avila and Constantino. Right side by Carlos Avila and Brady North. And behind the plate will be Jose Barraza catching starting pitcher Brett Sullivan. And for Sullivan just signed today by the Lake Erie Crushers, so making his Frontier League debut. He was selected by the Crushers in the second round of the 2016 Frontier League draft. He played 4 years for the Seton Hill Griffins, a Division II team in the NCAA. In his senior season, went 7-2 with a 4.86 ERA, striking out 51 and walking 16 in 74 innings of work his senior season. So a bit of a high strikeout number, not blow you away strikeout numbers, but adequate for a college starting pitcher, making his Lake Erie Crushers debut today, his Frontier League debut against the Washington Wild Things. Going to take a look at the starting lineup for your Washington Wild Things. They enter this one with a record of 12-12. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Jamal Austin. Batting second and playing at third base will be Ricky Rodriguez. In the 3 spot at second base, Brian Haar. Batting fourth in right field, Dave Popkins. In the 5 spot at first base, Logan Ox. Batting sixth, designated hitter Nick Ferdinand. Hitting seventh and behind the plate, Alex McKeon. Batting eighth and playing in left field tonight, Andrew Heck. And batting ninth and playing at shortstop, Austin Wobrock. On the mound for your Washington Wild Things tonight, Brandon Hinkle. So Sullivan making his 2016 Frontier League debut. And making his debut for the Lake Erie Crushers as Jamal Austin steps in, and we are just about ready for baseball here from All Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio. I'm Zach Ziegler. You're listening to Wild Things Baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. Austin steps in, and coming into this one, Austin hitting .247, no home runs, 5 RBIs, the pitch, and he takes it for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Tonight's first pitch thrown at 7:07 p.m., and it's currently 78 degrees here from Avon, Ohio. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hot Spot. That pitch taken for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. For Jamal Austin, here's Sullivan's pitch. Austin lines this one softly on the right field line, and it's a fair ball. Austin around first. He's heading to second. Norris will get to it. And Jamal Austin in there with a leadoff double to start things against Brett Sullivan here in inning number 1. And your Wild Things get going right away. Jamal Austin, just a soft line drive down the right field line. It just did land fair over the first base bag, and it rolled towards the Wild Things bullpen. Wild Things bullpen pitchers had to scramble to allow that ball some time to roll. It finds fair territory, and Jamal Austin in there with a double. That'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez, .263, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. Sullivan's pitch, and Rodriguez takes a strike, no balls and a strike. So Wild Things runner at scoring position here early with nobody out in the top of the first. Just underway, no score. Sullivan looks in, has his sign, and the 0-1. And the ball gets by the catcher, Jose Barraza. And a wild pitch will allow Jamal Austin to move up. So now Wild Things a runner at third with nobody out to start this game. And they set themselves up in very good position here. As that ball bounced before it reached the left-handed batter's box, Barraza tried to backhand it behind the plate, but just couldn't get to it in time. And it rolled all the way to the backstop, allowed Jamal Austin to move up. Sullivan has his sign, the 1-1. Rodriguez takes this one low for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. Sullivan hitting 87 on the gun there on that last pitch. Jamal Austin at third after he doubled and moved up on the wild pitch. Sullivan set. Here's the 2-1. And Rodriguez takes this one outside. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. We've seen Jimmy Yezzo hitting in this number 2 spot a lot lately, but Yezzo getting the night off, so Ricky Rodriguez will handle those duties. Rodriguez has been batting in the 5 hole. The 3-1, a ground ball to the shortstop, Constantino. He'll handle it, throw on to first. That's out number 1. However, Jamal Austin will score, and your Washington Wild Things take an early 1-0 lead on the RBI ground out by Ricky Rodriguez. Might not be exactly what Rodriguez wanted, but he'll take it as Austin scores. And the Wild Things have the lead here early on. Rodriguez's 10th RBI on the year. As Austin scores, that brings up Brian Haar. Sullivan's pitch, and Haar takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 1-0 Washington Wild Things here in the top of the first with one out. Sullivan's 0-1 is low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Haar on the year hitting 211, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. Sullivan's 1-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. So Sullivan having trouble finding the zone on a consistent basis. Sullivan looks in. Here's the 2-1. And Haar takes another called strike. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first. Wild Things lead 1-0. Sullivan set. Here's the 2-2. And Haar, a ground ball at the middle. That'll be a base hit. Gets by Constantino. So a 1-out single for Brian Haar gives the Wild Things another base runner here. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins comes into this one 308, 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. Popkins still the leader in this team in average, as Logan Ox hitting 333 right now, but he has only had 21 at-bats as compared to Popkins' 85. Popkins pops the first pitch up into foul territory, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Dave Popkins. Brian Haar stands on first base after his single. 1 run in the inning already as Jamal Austin doubled and moved up on a wild pitch, and Ricky Rodriguez would ground him in on an RBI ground out. The pitch. And Popkins takes this one low for a ball. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike here from All-Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio, home of the Lake Erie Crushers. Sullivan set. Here's the pitch. Popkins takes this one for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Brian Haar on first after a single. Sullivan making his Frontier League debut. Drafted by the Lake Erie Crushers this season in the 2016 draft. Sullivan set the 1-2. And this one bounces to the plate. Haar's going to try to move up. Barraza's throw is into center field. So Brian Haar will make it in there on the wild pitch. So Wild Things runner at second with only 1 away. And a 2-2 count here to Dave Popkins. Haar moving up after he singled to start the inning. Now stands on second base with only 1 away. So Popkins, a guy out there in scoring position. Sullivan has his sign. Set, checks Haar. Here's the 2-2. And Popkins pops this one up. Left side foul territory. Juan Avila is under it, and he'll make the catch behind third base. That's out number 2. So Popkins pops out, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Logan Ox. Ox in his early Wild Things career, 333, no home runs, and 3 RBIs. Playing first base for the second night in a row, was at first base in last night's game and drove in 2 of the team's 5 runs. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Wild Things lead 1-0. Brian Haar standing at second base after he singled and moved up on a wild pitch. Sullivan's pitch. Ox checks his swing and takes a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Logan Ox facing Brett Sullivan. Sullivan making his 2016 his Frontier League debut. Sullivan's 0-1. Ox takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ox here playing in game number 7 as a Washington Wild Thing. Was signed at the beginning of last homestand. The 1-1. And that one's low and outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Sullivan falling behind batters here early. Fell behind Ricky Rodriguez 3-1. Fell behind Brian Haar 2-1 before allowing the single. Also fell behind Popkins 2-1. Now behind Ox 2-1. The pitch. Ox fouls this one back off the top of the stadium. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Wild Things lead 1-0 here in the top of the first. Wild Things currently lead the season series between these two teams. Wild Things 2-1. As the Wild Things and Crushers split a rain-shortened 2-game series last time at Consol. Ox will pop this one up into foul territory. Juan Avila going over towards the seats, and he'll make the catch. That is out number 3. However, the Wild Things do get on the board as they get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left after half an inning. The score, Wild Things 1, Crushers coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 1, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Lake Erie 0. For the Washington Wild Things defensively in the outfield left to right, it's Ferdinand, Austin, and Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Rodriguez and Wobrock. Right side by Haar and Ox. And it'll be Alex McKeon behind the plate, catching today's starting pitcher, Brandon Hinkle. Hinkle enters this one with a record of 1-2, a .675 ERA. Appearing in his 4th game, his 3rd start, has thrown 10 2/3 innings of work this year, giving up 9 runs, 8 earned on 15 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 6 walks. Again, 1-2 with that .675 ERA. The lineup he's going to face today looks like this. Lake Erie Crushers enter with a record of 13-10. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Connor Oliver. Batting second and playing second base, Carlos Avila. In the 3 spot behind the plate, Jose Barraza. Batting fourth at third base, Juan Avila. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, William Beckwith. In the 6th spot at shortstop, Brendan Constantino. Batting 7th in right field, Parker Norris. Batting 8th at first base, Brady North. And batting 9th in left field, Parks Jordan. And as you saw last inning, Brett Sullivan on the mound for the Lake Erie Crushers. Connor Oliver steps in, and we're ready for baseball here in the bottom of the 1st. Wild Things lead 1-0 here from All Pro Freight Stadium, as they scored a run on an RBI ground out by Jimmy Yezzo. Oliver on the year hitting .325, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs. Hinkle set. Here's his first pitch. And it's low and outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. For Brandon Hinkle, does have a tendency to fall behind batters early, but we'll see if he can clear that up today. He did pitch in the suspending game against these Lake Erie Crushers. It's the 1-0 is ground to the right side. Haar handles it, throw on to first, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of inning number 1. And in that game that was suspended against the Lake Erie Crushers, we did play 3 innings of work, and Hinkle threw 3 shutout innings in that one, striking out 2. But those stats did not count as the rains came on, and that game was suspended. As up steps Carlos Avila, the second baseman. Carlos Avila on the year, hitting .254, no home runs, 7 RBIs. Hinkle's pitch, and that one's low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. For Carlos Avila, no relation to Juan Avila, the other Avila on this team, as the next pitch is low. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Brandon Hinkle making the start today, as the Wild Things rotation has been a little jumbled these last couple days. Here's Hinkle's 2-0. And that one's low and inside as well. Ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. And for Hinkle, 6 strikeouts, 6 walks on the year. So he's looking to hit the plate more, and that one's low. A 4-pitch walk here with 1 away gives the Lake Erie Crushers a base runner. And that will bring up the catcher, Jose Barraza. Barraza on the year, .281, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs. Hitting in that number 3 spot again. We saw him playing first base last night. Tonight moves back behind the plate. Lake Erie Crushers still have actually none of both of their catchers in the lineup. Brian De La Rosa getting the night off, as William Beckwith, the designated hitter, is hitting in the 5th spot. Originally it was De La Rosa at the DH spot. His throw over to first, and Avila's back. However, a lineup change right before the game put William Beckwith in that designated hitter spot. Here's the first pitch to Barraza, and Barraza pops this one up into the stands foul. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here to the Lake Erie catcher, Jose Barraza. Hinkle looking for a good start here against the Crushers, trying to give the Wild Things a series win today. Another throw over to first, and Avila's back. And Brandon Hinkle has a very good move over to first base. He stays home the whole time as long as he can before firing over to first base. Hinkle's 0-1. And Barraza takes this one for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, as that one was very close on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Another throw to first, and Carlos Avila is back. For Avila at first base, currently only has 1 steal, and this is 19th game. Hinkle has his sign, the 1-1. And Barraza lines this one to right field. Popkins coming in, and he won't be able to make the catch. So with 1 out, first and second here for the Lake Erie Crushers, as Hinkle getting in an early jam, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Juan Avila. Avila on the year, 300 hitter, 5 home runs, and 19 RBIs. First and second here for the Lake Erie Crushers. Carlos Avila, a 1-out walk after Connor Oliver grounded out, and then Jose Barraza a single on a 1-1 pitch. So 2 on, 1 out for the Crushers here at All-Pro Freight Stadium. Wild Things in their gray road jerseys with the gray pants, and Crushers in their red alternate jerseys with white pants. The pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Brandon Hinkle, the starter today for your Washington Wild Things. Hinkle set, checks Avila, the pitch, grounded foul, and the count goes to 1-1. Carlos Avila standing on second base, Jose Barraza over at first, and Juan Avila at the plate. 1-0 Wild Things lead, as they scored on a Jimmy Yezzo RBI ground out in inning number 1. Wild Things won yesterday's ball game by a score of 5-1. Hinkle has his sign, checks Carlos Avila. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss by Juan Avila at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count, 1 out. A little more than halfway full here at All-Pro Freight Stadium on a Saturday night home game for the Lake Erie Crushers. Hinkle has his sign. Now he'll step off as he looks Carlos Avila back to second base. As we're saying for Brandon Hinkle, he's ahead in the count here, 1-2. That's what you want to see from Hinkle. When he's ahead, he's good. When he's behind, things can go wrong. This one lined on the left field line, and a hook foul, so the count remains 1-2. That one blistered by Juan Avila down the line, and luckily for the Wild Things, it stayed foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Wild Things lead 1-0 here in the top of the second. Carlos Avila, the runner at second. Jose Barraza at first. Hinkle looking in, has his sign, checks Carlos Avila. Here's the 1-2. And a fly ball to left field. Nick Ferdinand running over. Now Jamal Austin in left center has it. That's out number 2. Meanwhile, moving up to third base will be Carlos Avila. So Juan Avila flies out to center. Carlos Avila moves up. And there's runners at first and third with 2 away for William Beckwith, the designated hitter. Beckwith 250, 1 home run, and 8 RBIs. Was the designated hitter in last night's ball game as well, as he bats from the left side. The big boy in this Lake Erie lineup, standing in at 240 pounds from Crawford, Mississippi. Actually played for your Washington Wild Things during the 2014 season. Was a member of the Washington Wild Things, now a member of the Lake Erie Crushers. Hinkle set, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Beckwith, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Wild Things lead 1-0. Hinkle set, here's the 0-1. Another swing and a miss by Beckwith, no balls and 2 strikes. Hinkle working down in the zone against Beckwith, as those 2 pitches right at the knees. 0-2 the count here on William Beckwith, the designated hitter. Carlos Avila walked, he now stands on third. Jose Barraza singled at first, the 0-2. And that one's in the dirt. Nice block by McKeon behind the plate. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Brandon Hinkle trying to get out of this first inning jam. Wild Things scored a run for him in the top half of the inning. Hinkle's 1-2. And that one's in the dirt. Gets by McKeon. McKeon quickly gets to it. Flip to Hinkle is not going to be in time. So Carlos Avila scores on the wild pitch, and the game now is tied at 1. That pitch bouncing before it got to the plate. It didn't go far from Alex McKeon. However, McKeon not able to get to it quick enough to flip to Hinkle, so the run will score, and the game is tied now 1-1 here in the bottom of the first. Hinkle set, checks Barraza at second, the pitch. And that one's in the dirt as well. This one will get by McKeon. And Barraza going to try for the plate. Now he's caught between third and home, and he'll get back in there to third. So Barraza Wisely holds up at third base. Another wild pitch. The third wild pitch in the inning by Brandon Hinkle allows Barraza to move up with 2 away. So 3-2 the count here on William Beckwith. Runner at third with 2 outs. The on-deck batter would be Brendan Constantino. Hinkle going from the windup here with the runner at third. Barraza took a big turn, but Wisely went back to 3-2, and that's low ball 4. The second walk in the inning for Brandon Hinkle. Now there are runners at the corners with 2 away, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Brendan Constantino. Constantino on the year, 275, 1 home run, 5 RBIs. Did not see him last night as Max Casper played shortstop for the Lake Erie Crushers. So there's runners at first and third here with 2 away. Game tied at 1 between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. There are runners at first and third with 2 outs. Hinkle set. Here's the pitch. And that one's low in the dirt. McKeon again, a nice block behind the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. As Alex McKeon will go out to talk to Brandon Hinkle now. The last couple pitches have been in the dirt from Hinkle as he's trying to find the zone. McKeon having to dive in front. He couldn't block the last 2 as he had 2 straight wild pitches allowed Jose Barraza to move up and allowed Carlos Avila to score. That's how the Crushers tied the game at 1 here in this inning. 1-1, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 1-0 the count here on Brendan Constantino. Hinkle set. Here's the 1-0. And a swing and a foul ball back to the screen. Count goes even at 1-1. For Hinkle, as we said, control is something he has to work on. As when he's ahead, he's pretty good, as we saw in the Juan Avila at bat. But if he falls behind, he can run into some trouble as Constantino hits this one to center field. Austin comes in, now takes 2 steps back and will make the catch. That is out number 3. So 1 run in the inning for the Lake Erie Crushers on just 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After an inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball from All Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio, home of the Lake Erie Crushers. Going to the top of the second, the score currently tied 1-1 between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things got on the board in the first inning after a Jamal Austin double. He would move up on a wild pitch that got him to third base with nobody out. Then Ricky Rodriguez, a ground out to the shortstop Brendan Constantino, allowed Jamal Austin to score and get the Wild Things on the board. Then Dave Popkins and Brian Harwood single, followed by a Dave Popkins pop out and a Logan Ox pop out that would end the inning. Harwood also moved up to second in that inning on a wild pitch by Brett Sullivan. Due up for the Wild Things here in the second, Nick Ferdinand, Alex McKeon, and Andrew Heck. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up against Brett Sullivan. And Sullivan in that first inning allowed the 2 hits, the run, but other than that was pretty good. We'll see how he bounces back here in inning number 2. Nick Ferdinand leading things off for your Washington Wild Things. This is his 3rd game for your Wild Things as he was signed before Thursday night's game. Currently hitting .286 with no home runs and 3 RBIs. Sullivan set. Here's the pitch to Ferdinand. And that one's outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Both pitchers so far, Sullivan and Hinkle in the first inning, both having trouble finding the zone, the 1-0. And Ferdinand takes this one for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. For Sullivan, played at Seton Hill College. Here's the 1-1. And this one's fouled away, back off the screen, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a nice catch by a fan behind the screen is what the ball did is it hit off the very top of the screen, was in limbo for a second, and then fell towards the stands. A nice catch made by a fan behind home plate. Sullivan set. Here's the 1-2. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2 to Ferdinand. Ferdinand drove in 3 of his team's 5 runs a night ago. Sullivan set. Here's the 2-2. And a called strike 3 on Nick Ferdinand at the knees. And that's out number 1. The first strikeout for Brett Sullivan. And there's one away for your Wild Things here in the second. That'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon on the year, 296, 1 home run, and 5 RBIs. Owns the second highest average on the team. Logan Ox and Nick Ferdinand both do not qualify as they have not had enough at-bats yet. Here's Sullivan's pitch. And McKeon chopped to the left side and foul. Count goes to 0-1. McKeon, the primary catcher for your Washington Wild Things. Eddie Serrano, the backup. Hasn't played since the doubleheader on Wednesday night. Sullivan set. Here's the 0-1. And McKeon takes this one for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes right at the knees. That's right where Nick Ferdinand got his called strike. Called strike 3 called. Here's the 0-2. And McKeon fouls this one away towards the Wild Things dugout. Count sticks at no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. 1 out here in the top of the second. Tie game between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Game tied at 1. Wild Things won yesterday by a score of 5-1. Sullivan's 0-2. And McKeon grounded right back to the mound. Sullivan, a nice play. And he'll flip to first. That's out number 2. 1-3 on the putout. As that ball hit a bouncer back to the mound, Sullivan got it right in the gut as he had his glove at about his gut level, was able to glove the ball and then fire over to first to get McKeon for the out. That'll bring up the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck, 171, no home runs, and 4 RBIs on the year for the Wild Things left fielder, playing in this his 14th game. Sullivan's pitch. And Heck takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike on the outside corner. Heck, a bench player for these Wild Things, getting the start in left field today. Here's the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Excuse me, he's playing in right field today. Right, he is in left, the 1-1. And Heck grounded towards the middle. Constantino giving it a run. Backhanded play, spin, jump, throw. But Heck will beat it out. A 2-out infield single for Andrew Heck, and the Wild Things have a base runner with 2 away. That'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock, 217, 1 home run, 7 RBIs for the Wild Things. Shortstop has been struggling to hit consistently for the Wild Things. He's had good games here and there, but has not yet found his stride this season, hitting in the number 9 hole. So Andrew Heck, an infield single, takes his lead from first. Sullivan's pitch. And Wobrock takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wobrock in his second year with the Washington Wild Things. As we said, that 217 average, 1 homer, 7 RBIs. Here's the 0-1. And Wobrock, a fly ball towards center field. Coming in as Oliver, but he'll be called off by Parks Jordan. Jordan will make the catch, and that is out number 3. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 1.5, the score. Wild Things 1, Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 2, and this game tied at 1 between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. The Crushers scored their run in the bottom of the first inning. Connor Oliver would ground out to start things. Then Carlos Avila would walk and Jose Barraza would single before Juan Avila flew out. So there were runners at first and second with 2 away. Then a wild pitch by Brandon Hinkle moved Carlos Avila up to third base. Avila moved up on the fly ball by Juan Avila. They were first and third with 2 outs. And a wild pitch scored Carlos Avila, moved Barraza to second. Another wild pitch moved Barraza to third. And then William Beckwith would walk, so runners at first to third with 2 outs. And then Brendan Constantino would fly out to center field to end the inning. Due up to face Hinkle here in the second. Parker Norris, Brady North, and Parks Jordan. 7, 8, and 9 for the Crushers. Parker Norris stepping in. Norris with an average of 246, no home runs, and 9 RBIs for the Crushers right fielder. The first pitch is low for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Brandon Hinkle on the mound, making his 3rd start of the year. Here's the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hinkle, as we said, 1-2 with the .675 ERA. Pitched Saturday night against the Evansville Otters. That one's in the dirt for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. And he gave up 4 runs in just a third of an inning of work out of the bullpen, relieving Luke Wilkins, who is coming off of the disabled list. The 2-1. And this one ground to the right side. Brian Hard charging. He has it throw to first, and that's out number 1 here in inning number 2. So Parker Norris grounds out, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Brady North. Brady North batting .200, no home runs, no RBIs. Came off the disabled list today, as he'd been on the disabled list with an injury. He's played in 2 games so far, just 1 hit in 5 at-bats. Brady North standing in at 6'3", 215. Left-handed hitter from Tampa, Florida. As the first pitch is inside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. North actually played for the Washington Wild Things last season, and with the Wild Things, he hit .080 in just 12 games. Had 2 hits in 25 plate appearances. So Brady North here for the Lake Erie Crushers. Off the disabled list, here's Hinkle's 1-1. And that one's in there for a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hinkle working ahead here against Brady North. Trying to look for a clean second inning after allowing that run in the bottom of the first. Here's Hinkle's 1-2. And North takes this one in the dirt. Count goes even at 2-2. McKeon getting the workout behind the plate early. He's had to block a couple of pitches early on. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Hinkle set. Here's the pitch. And that one's just outside for a ball. Count goes full, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes here on Brady North. The on-deck batter, Parks Jordan. Hinkle's 3-2. And that one's outside for a ball. The 3rd walk of the day for Brandon Hinkle, and that gives the Lake Erie Crushers a 1-out base runner. That'll bring up the left fielder, Parks Jordan. Jordan today, on the year, 254, 1 home run, and 8 RBIs. So the 1-out walk for Hinkle, his 3rd walk of the day, as the Crushers have been getting on base. Just 1 hit given up by Hinkle through 1 1/3. Hinkle has his sign. He set, checks first, the pitch. And Jordan takes for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Parks Jordan playing in left field in last night's game as well. The outfield here pretty consistent for Lake Erie. It's been Jordan, Oliver, and Norris. The pitch, and that one's in the dirt. Nice block by McKeon behind the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 out, bottom 2nd. Game tied at 1 between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Hinkle set, and the throw to first. They have Brady North picked off. He's in a rundown. Ox will just tag him himself, and that is out number 2. So Brady North picked off at first base, as he is eliminated. Now there are now 2 away here in the bottom of the 2nd. For Hinkle, this is his 3rd start, his 3rd man picked off. He's picked off a man in each start. He has that very good move over to first, where he stays home the entire time before throwing over there to first base. Hinkle's 1-1. That one ground to the right side. Ox has it. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that is out number 3. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And after 2, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 1, Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 3, and the score currently tied 1-1 between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. In the second inning for the Wild Things, Nick Ferdinand would strike out and Alex McKeon would ground out to start the inning. Then Andrew Heck, an infield single to the shortstop before Austin Woodbrock would fly out to end things in inning number 2. Due up here in the third for your Washington Wild Things, 1-2-3, Jamal Austin, Ricky Rodriguez, and Brian Haar to face Brett Sullivan. On Thursdays, fans can enjoy several special offers. The Wild Things are offering 2-for-1 tickets. Stop by the box office to get yours today. And in addition, there's a 4 for $44 offer. It includes 4 reserved seat tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 small soft drinks. Normally a $76 package, just $44 every Thursday. The Wild Things are home this summer. Jamal Austin steps in, 1-for-1, doubled in his first at-bat, and in last night's game ended up going 2-for-5 with a double and a single. He also stole a base, his 10th bag of the year last night. The first pitch to him is a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Sullivan said, here's the pitch. And Austin, a short fly ball in the right field. Parker Norris coming in, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1. So 2 pitches and 1 out for the Wild Things here in the third. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez today 0-for-1. Played third base in last night's game and ended up going 3-for-4 with 2 singles and a double. Sullivan's pitch to Rodriguez, and that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Sullivan, a fast worker on the mound. He gets his sign and then throws the pitch. Here's the 1-0. Rodriguez takes this one for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Last night's starter for the Lake Erie Crushers only went 2 2/3. Colin Feldman. This one grounded to left field. A base hit for Rodriguez. So Rodriguez gets the 4th hit of the night for the Washington Wild Things. Gives them a 1-out base runner. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Brian Haar. Rodriguez last night, a couple of lucky hits, has grounded the ball to the infield. Max Casper at short tried to make a diving play on him. Couldn't do it. Juan Avila tried to make a diving play on him at third base. He couldn't do it either. So 2 of Rodriguez's 3 hits coming on the lucky side. This one a no-doubter into left field. Haar today, 1-for-1, singled his first time up. Sullivan said, here's the pitch. And Haar, a line drive to left field and deep. Going back is Jordan to the track, to the wall, and this one will exit stage left for Brian Haar. A 2-run home run, Haar's 6th of the year, and your Wild Things lead this one 3-1 here in inning number 3. Brian Haar drives Ricky Rodriguez in. It's 3-1 Wild Things. And when you need an attorney to hit one out of the park for you, yo, Keith. That home run brought to you by Keith Owen Campbell, attorney at law. That'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins 0-for-1. Sullivan said, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, no balls and a strike. For Brian Haar, his team-leading 6th home run and 16th and 17th RBIs. The 0-1 to Popkins, and he takes strike 2, no balls and 2 strikes. 3-1 Wild Things lead here at All-Pro Freight Stadium in the third. Sullivan's pitch, swing and a miss by Popkins. Popkins strikes out. The second strikeout victim of the day for Sullivan. The first one was looking when he got Nick Ferdinand in the second. Now Dave Popkins strikes out, and there are 2 away here in the third, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Logan Ox. Ox 0-for-1. 2 runs in the inning on the 2-run homer by Brian Haar. Here on the MSA Sports Network, you're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball. I'm Zach Ziegler. Sullivan's pitch. Ox, a ground ball to the right side, handled by Carlos Avila. Throw to first, and that's out number 3. But the Wild Things do get 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. And after 2.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently going to the bottom of inning number 3 here from All Pro Freight Stadium. And your Wild Things lead this one 3-1. Last inning for the Lake Erie Crushers. Pretty clean inning for Brandon Hinkle on the mound. Got Parker Norris to ground out, then walked Brady North, but picked him off at first base as he's done all season long. And Parks Jordan would ground out to first base. That would end the inning. Due up for the Crushers here in the third. Connor Oliver, Carlos Avila, and Jose Barraza. 1, 2, and 3 to start inning number 3. Brandon Hinkle out on the mound now has a 3-1 lead after the 2-run homer by Brian Haar in the top of this inning. So Hinkle looking to keep this lead for the Wild Things. Connor Oliver on the day 0 for 1. In last night's game ended up going 2 for 4 with a double and a triple. 3-1 Wild Things lead, bottom of the third. Brandon Hinkle out there for his third inning of work. Hinkle looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this ball hit the right field and deep. Popkins going back to the track, and this ball is gone. Connor Oliver, a solo home run. The Lake Erie Crushers get one back. It's now 3-2. Just over that right field wall near the kids' bouncy house area. It's 3-2. Connor Oliver, his 4th home run of the year. As the score now 3-2 between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things still leading this one. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Carlos Avila. No official at bat yet. Avila walked his first time. Hinkle set. Here's the pitch. And this one bounces to the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count on Lake Erie second baseman. Yesterday, Avila was 0 for 4. Was robbed of a base hit by Brian Haar in inning number 6 in that game. Haar made a nice leaping catch. Here's the 1-0 from Hinkle. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on the Lake Erie second baseman. 3-2 the score between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things lead 3-2 as that one's outside for ball 3. 3 straight balls from Brandon Hinkle to start the at-bat with Carlos Avila after giving up the solo home run to Connor Oliver. Hinkle's 3-0. And that one's high, ball 4. Another walk for Carlos Avila, his 2nd walk of the day. And for Hinkle, that's walk number 4 here in 2+ innings of work. That'll bring up the catcher, Jose Barraza. Barraza 1 for 1, singled his first time. And in last night's game, Barraza ended up going 0 for 4 against the starting pitcher, Trevor Foss. So runner on, nobody out following the solo home run by Connor Oliver for the Lake Erie Crushers. Hinkle has his sign, throw to first, and getting back is Carlos Avila. Avila over there after the walk, a 4-pitch walk to Carlos Avila, as Brandon Hinkle is trying to settle in on the mound. Hasn't quite settled in yet. We're in inning number 3. Hinkle set, here's the pitch. And that one's in the dirt, ball 1 to Barraza. 1 ball, no strikes, 5 straight balls from Brandon Hinkle on the mound. Gave the solo home run on the first pitch of this inning to Connor Oliver. Hinkle has his sign, the 1-0. That one's low as well, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes here to Jose Barraza. As this is something that's been plaguing Hinkle all year, falling behind batters. Hinkle set the 2-0. That one's low as well, ball 3. So after delivering the 4-pitch walk to Carlos Avila, he's thrown 3 straight balls here to Brandon Hinkle. Or to Jose Barraza, excuse me. Hinkle looking in, has his sign. The 3-0. And that one's in there for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count. As action in the Wild Things bullpen, Brian O'Keefe has gotten up and started to throw. Here's the 3-1. And this one grounded to second base. Brian Haar charging to second for 1 on to first. And it's not in time for the double play. A fielder's choice for Barraza. 4-6 on the putout. As Carlos Avila eliminated at second base. And there's 1 out here in inning number 3. That'll bring up the third baseman, Juan Avila. 0 for 1 today. As in yesterday's ball game, he ended up going 1 for 3 with a single. He also reached on a hit by pitch. 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 3. A run in already on the Connor Oliver solo home run. Wild Things lead this one 3-2. Hinkle set, checks Barraza. Here's the pitch. And a line drive right to Ricky Rodriguez. Throw back to first. And they nearly got Barraza doubled up. Rodriguez making the catch. Barraza almost caught too far off the first base bag. But Barraza just able to slide back in there. So they're 2 away, a runner at first. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, William Beckwith. Beckwith walked his last time up. And in yesterday's game ended up going 2 for 4 with 2 singles and a run scored. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Wild Things lead it 3-2 over the Lake Erie Crushers here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Hinkle set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a mix by Beckwith. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Brandon Hinkle getting the start today as all 4 of the main Wild Things starters have started in the past 5 days. Here's the 0-1. And that one's at the knees for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Brandon Hinkle looking to retire the side. Hinkle has his sign. Checks Barraza, the 0-2. And that one's in the dirt. It'll get by McKeon to the backstop. Barraza moves up to second on the wild pitch. That's now 5 wild pitches on the day for Brandon Hinkle. 1-2, 2 outs here. William Beckwith the batter. We said Brian O'Keefe warming up out in the bullpen. So Hinkle looking in, has his sign. Checks second. Here's the 1-2. And a swing and a foul ball off of McKeon behind the plate. Count sticks at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. A run in already on the Connor Oliver solo home run. But your Wild Things still lead at 3-2. Hinkle looking in, has his sign. Checks second, the 1-2. And a swing and a ground ball to the right side. Logan Ox will handle it at first, takes it to the bag, and that is out number 3. However, the Lake Erie Crushers do get a run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 3, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie Crushers 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here in the top of inning number 4. Pitching change for the Lake Erie Crushers is now coming on is right-handed pitcher Mike Devine. Devine on the year, currently 3-1 with 2 saves, a 1.66 ERA. Appearing in this his 17th game, has gone 21 2/3 innings of work on the mound, giving up 5 runs, 4 earned on 15 hits, 5 walks, and 21 strikeouts. Again with that 3-1 record, 2 saves, and a 1.66 ERA. The final line for starting pitcher Brett Sullivan went 3 innings, gave up 3 runs, all earned on 5 hits, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. The first men to face Devine here in the 4th, Nick Ferdinand, Alex McKeon, and Andrew Heck, 6, 7, and 8 due up. Ferdinand stepping to the plate so far 0 for 1 in this one. Was called out on strikes as last time. And in yesterday's ballgame went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs as he hit an RBI double and a 2 RBI single, driving in 3 of his team's 5 runs. Wild Things lead this one 3-2 from All-Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio, home of the Lake Erie Crushers. Devine set, here's the pitch. And Ferdinand takes high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count, Mike Devine taking over here in the top of the 4th. Here's the 1-0. And a swing and a miss by Ferdinand, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ferdinand signed Thursday night by the Washington Wild Things. Before that Thursday night game, was 0 for 3 in his Wild Things debut with a walk. Here's the 1-1. And this one chops slowly to the left side. Juan Avila charging, tries to barehand it, can't control the ball. And that should be an infield single for Nick Ferdinand. We'll see what the official score gives it. Nonetheless, either way, the Wild Things have the leadoff man on base here in the fourth. As Alex McKeon will come up. McKeon 0 for 1 with a ground out. So Nick Ferdinand reached on first base. Slow bounce to the left side that Juan Avila tried to barehand. And they will not give Ferdinand a hit. It's an E5. As Ferdinand's on base. Devine set. Here's the pitch to McKeon. McKeon bunting, gets it down. Juan Avila charging, gloves this one. Throw to first is just in time to get Alex McKeon. A sacrifice bunt moves Nick Ferdinand up to second base here with just one away in the top of the fourth. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck 1 for 1, hit an infield single his last time against the starter, Brett Sullivan. Wild Things lead 3-2 here in the top of the fourth, one away. Nick Ferdinand at second. He reached on an error and moved up on the sac bunt by Alex McKeon. Devine has his sign. He's set. Checks Ferdinand at second. The pitch to Heck. And Heck takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here. To the right-handed hitting Andrew Heck versus the right-handed pitcher Mike Devine. Devine ready. Checks Ferdinand in the 0-1. Heck takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wild Things a 1-run lead. Looking to add on here, as you can never have too many runs in any game. Ferdinand standing out there at second. Devine set. Checks second to 1-1. And Heck checks his swing, but takes a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes called right there on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and just the 1 out here in the top of inning number 4. Wild Things lead this one 3-2. Devine's 1-2 pitch. And this one's taken outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Umpires for tonight's game, Andy Dodonis behind the plate and Grant Henderson on the bases. Henderson was behind the plate last night. Devine set. Here's the 2-2. Heck takes this one outside, so the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Andrew Heck. The on-deck batter for the Wild Things is Austin Wilbrock. Mike Devine facing off against Andrew Heck. Devine looking in. He's set. And the 3-2 to Andrew. And Heck takes this one inside, ball 4. So there's 2 on now with 1 away as Andrew Heck walks, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wilbrock. And coming out to the mound for a meeting is the Lake Erie pitching coach. And while he does, going to take a look at the standings here in the Frontier League. In the East Division, Windy City Thunderbolts lead things at 17-8. Then the Lake Erie Crushers sit at 13-10, playing 5-5 ball in their last couple games. The Joliet Slammers sit there at 14-12. Then the Washington Wild Things in 4th, 12-12. Schaumburg at 11-14. They're in 5th. And Traverse City 8-16. They round out the East Division standings. The meeting on the mound has concluded, and we are ready to come back here in the top of the 4th. 1 out. Wild Things lead 3-2 over the Lake Erie Crushers with 2 on and 1 out. Nick Ferdinand stands at second. He reached on an error. And Andrew Heck stands at first. He reached on a walk. Devine set. Here's the pitch. And that one's a called strike on Wilbrock. No balls and a strike. Wilbrock 7 RBIs on the season. Drove in 31 a year ago, which was good for second on the team. Behind Dave Popkins. Devine set. Checks second. Here's the 0-1. And Wilbrock takes this pitch inside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Count even at 1-1. Mike Devine taking over for the starter here in inning number 4. Chris Mogardo, the manager for the Lake Erie Crushers, known to use a lot of pitchers. Used 7 in last night's ball game. Devine's 1-1. And Wilbrock fouls this one back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Colin Feldman, the starter last night, only went 2 2/3 innings of work. Here today, the starter, Brett Sullivan, went 3 innings. Devine looking in, has his sign. He's set. And the 1-2. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Wild Things have been walked once today. that's Andrew Heck over at first. Nick Ferdinand reached at second on an error. Devine has his sign. Checks second, the 2-2. And Wobrock, a line drive, just foul. Past third base, count sticks at 2 balls and 2 strikes. For Austin, Wobrock was hitting in the number 2 spot to start the season. Has since moved down in the number 9 hole with 1 out here from All-Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Devine looking in. He's set. And the 2-2. And a swing and a miss by Wobrock. He strikes out. And there are now 2 away here in the top of inning number 4 with 2 on for the Wild Things. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin 1 for 2. Doubled and scored a run in the first and flew out in inning number 3. As Austin, we said, involved in that weird play in the 4th inning yesterday as he singled. Moved up on an error and throw by Mike Devine on the mound and was caught between second and third with a big lead. Devine chased him down, but Jamal Austin beat the rundown and got into third base. The pitch, inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here on Austin. 2 outs, Wild Things lead 3-2. As the righty Mike Devine came in for this inning. Devine set, checks Ferdinand and the 1-0. Austin takes this one high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Jamal Austin looking to drive runs in, has 5 RBIs on the year. Wild Things looking for some insurance. Devine set, here's the 2-0. Austin takes this one for a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1, 2 outs. Manager Greg Langben coaching at third base for the Wild Things. Mike Marshall standing over at first. Devine set, here's the 2-1. Austin lines this one hard on the right side. Watch out over there in the stands. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 4th. Wild Things lead 3-2. Jamal Austin, the leadoff man, at the plate for the Wild Things. Devine set. And the 2-2. And this one popped up on the right side by Austin. Norris giving a run over there by the Wild Things bullpen, but it'll fall into the seats, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Jamal Austin coming into this game with an average of .247, no home runs and 5 RBIs. Andrew Heck at first, he walked. Nick Ferdinand at second, he reached on an error and moved up on the sac bump by Alex McKeon. Devine looking in, he's set. And the pitch to Austin. And this one a check swing towards shortstop. Constantino going behind second, he'll call it and make the catch. And that is out number 3. No runs for the Wild Things on no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. And after 3.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie Crushers 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball going to the bottom of the 4th, and your Wild Things currently lead this one 3-2. The Lake Erie Crushers scored a run in the bottom half of the 3rd as Connor Oliver delivered on a solo home run. It would be For Connor Oliver, it would be his 4th home run of the 2016 season. A solo shot made it 3-2. Then Brandon Hinkle would walk Carlos Avila, and he would be eliminated on the fielder's choice by Jose Barraza. Then Juan Avila lined out, and William Beckwith grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the 4th against Brandon Hinkle, Brendan Constantino, Parker Norris, and Brady North. 6, 7, 8 due up against the Wild Things starter, Brandon Hinkle. The Wild Things are offering a flex plan promotion. Get a 12-ticket plan for the price of a 10-ticket plan. Flex plans are great for people who have hectic schedules and can't take advantage of a typical season ticket package because they're not sure which games they can attend. A Flex plan gets you ticket vouchers at a reduced cost, and you can redeem them whenever it's convenient for you. Call the box office today for more information. Brendan Constantino stepping in 0 for 1. Did not see him in last night's game. Hinkle's pitch, and Constantino lines this one to left, where Heck is waiting for it. He'll make the catch, and that is out number 1. One pitch, one away here for Hinkle in the 4th. As his team leads by 1, it's 3-2, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Parker Norris. Norris 0 for 1 on the day. In last night's ball game, Norris ended up going 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly and an RBI. Drove in the only run for the Crushers in last night's ball game. Hinkle looking in. Here's his pitch. And bunting, and Norris will pull it back and take a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Wild Things lead 3-2, Hinkle's 0-1. And this one grounded softly to the right side. Ox handles it, flipped to Hinkle, and they just do get the out at first base. Hinkle running over there to first base. Parker Norris almost beat him, but Hinkle able to get that foot in there before Norris is. Now up Brady North. North, no official at bat yet. He walked his first time and came off the disabled list today, so we did not see him in last night's ball game. Was currently on the season before going on the DL, hitting 200, 1 for 5. As he's up now facing Brandon Hinkle with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Hinkle set, here's the pitch. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Brady North. Here's the pitch. North takes this one in the dirt as well, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Brandon Hinkle on the hill for your Washington Wild Things making the start this evening. Sam Agnew-Wheeland will start tomorrow afternoon's game. Here's the 2-0. And this ball popped up on the infield. Alex McKeon going out. Ricky Rodriguez calling him off, and Rodriguez will make the catch, and that is out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Crushers here in the 4th, and after 4 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie Crushers 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 5, and your Wild Things currently lead this one 3-2. Wild Things did not get on the board last inning as Nick Ferdinand started things, reached base on an error. Then Alex McKeon sacrifice bunted him over to second. Andrew Heck would walk, so there was runners at first and second with only 1 out. Austin Wilbrock would strike out, and Jamal Austin would pop out to end the inning. Mike Devine coming back out. Another inning of work here for Devine. In last night's game, we saw Devine on the mound. He relieved starting pitcher Colin Feldman, went 1 1/3. Here, getting a second inning against the Washington Wild Things. And Wednesdays are bucket hat days at the park this summer. For $15, you can get a reserved seat and a Wild Things bucket hat. What a great deal. The next bucket hat day is this Wednesday when the Wild Things will be taking on the Joliet Slammers. That'll be game 2 of a 3-game series between Joliet at Consol Energy Park. So come in, $15, you get a reserved seat and a bucket hat. Ricky Rodriguez coming in to lead things off here for the Wild Things in the 5th. Rodriguez today 1 for 2. Single run scored and an RBI. The pitch, and Rodriguez lines this one sharply to the left side and foul. So the count goes to 0-1 on Rodriguez. Wild Things up 3-2 here in the top of the 5th. Game 2 of this 3-game series with the Lake Erie Crushers. Devine set. Here's the 0-1. And this one hit to right field by Rodriguez. Norris going back a couple steps, and he'll make the catch. And that is out number 1 here in inning number 5. So 1 away. That brings up Brian Haar. Haar 2 for 2. A single, and last time up hit a 2-run home run that gave the Wild Things this it was 3-1 at that point, but gave them this lead. His 6th home run and his 16th and 17th RBIs on the season. Devine set the pitch to Har. And Har takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. Har hit his first 4 home runs of the season all in the first week. Then went cold and lately has hit 2 home runs over the last week, the 0-1. And that one's high for a ball, 1 strike. So Har hopefully finding his power swing back. The Wild Things could use that in the middle of the order. Devine's 1-1. And Har takes this one outside for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Har leads the team in home runs. Second is Dave Popkins with 3. Then Jimmy Yezzo and Grant Fink and Ricky Rodriguez each tied with 2. That pitch is outside. 3 balls and a strike now to Brian Har. 3-1 the count. Devine set. Here's the pitch. And Har takes this one for a strike. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dave Popkins, the on-deck batter for the Washington Wild Things. Devine looking in. He's set. Here's the 3-2. And Har takes this one outside. Ball 4. So Har reaches base for the 3rd time with a 1-out walk, and it gives the Wild Things a base runner for the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins 0 for 2, popped out to 3rd and struck out on the day. As he's looking to get going offensively from the number 4 holes. We said last night Popkins ended up going 0 for 3. And this ball grounded to second base. Carlos Avila to second. And he gets the out there. Fielder's choice for Dave Popkins as Brian Har eliminated. And a 4-6 fielder's choice. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Logan Ox. Ox 0 for 2 after driving in 2 runs on 3 hits in last night's ball game. Ox today popped out to 3rd and grounded out in the 3rd inning. Runner at first, Dave Popkins, 2 outs. Wild Things lead 3-2 here from All-Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Devine set. And the pitch. Ox takes this one for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes, just on the outside corner. 1-0 the count. Mike Devine in for his 2nd inning of work. He has his sign. He's set. Checks Popkins in the 1-0. Ox takes this one outside as well, 2 balls and no strikes. For Devine so far, 2 walks and a strikeout over 1 2/3 innings of work. Devine checks Popkins, has his sign, and the 2-0. Ox checks his swing and takes a strike, 2 balls and a strike. That one just hitting the outside corner. Ox playing first base for the 2nd night in a row. Jimmy Yezzo getting the night off. He was the designated hitter last night as him and Ox have been splitting time at first base. Here's the 2-1. Ox takes this one inside, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Dave Popkins, the runner at first. He reached on a fielder's choice. Devine set. The 3-1. And this one popped up towards the stands. And it'll go back in the seats. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Nick Ferdinand, the on-deck hitter for the Washington Wild Things. If Ox should reach. 3-2, 2 away. Here in the top of inning number 5. Devine looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 3-2. Popkins taking off for second. And this one fouled away back over the stands. The count remains full at 3-2. Ox staying alive at the plate. Ox wearing number 24 in the gray road jerseys. Was wearing number 22 in the home jerseys. 3-2, 2 away. Mike Devine on the hill. Dave Popkins at first. Devine set. Popkins will take off again, the 3-2. Ox checks his swing, and it's outside, ball 4. The 3rd walk of the day for Mike Devine puts runners at first and second with 2 away for the designated hitter, Nick Ferdinand. Ferdinand 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd and reached on an error in inning number 4. Last time up, he hit a soft ground ball to 3rd base. Juan Avila tried to barehand the ball over there, but he just couldn't get a grip on it, and they gave him an error on the play. Devine has his sign, and the pitch. Ferdinand, a ground ball at the middle, base hit. Popkins will be waved home. Connor Oliver's throw to the plate. It's a strong one, and it's not in time. Popkins will score standing up, An RBI single for Nick Ferdinand, his 4th RBI in just 3 games with the Wild Things, and the Wild Things now lead it 4-2. Logan Ox moves to third. There's runners at the corners with 2 away, and your Wild Things take the 4-2 lead, and that'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. So Nick Ferdinand settling in nicely for your Washington Wild Things. 4 RBIs in 3 games for the designated hitter tonight. Here's the pitch from Devine. McKeon a swing and a miss, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. McKeon today 0 for 1. Grounded out and also had a sacrifice bunt in the 4th inning. Devine has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1. McKeon takes this one for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. McKeon 5 RBIs on the year. So Nick Ferdinand, his 3rd game, has 4 RBIs. Devine set. Here's the 0-2. Ferdinand taking off for second. A swing and a foul ball by McKeon. So the count stays at 0-2. Nick Ferdinand having to go back. McKeon fouling off a tough pitch, just getting a piece of that ball. 4-2. Wild Things lead. 4 runs, 6 hits for your Wild Things. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Lake Erie Crushers. Devine looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-2. Ferdinand taking off again. Checks his swing. This one is high. Appeal to the field umpire Henderson, and he did not go around. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Meanwhile, Nick Ferdinand gets the steal of second base. So runners at second and third with 2 outs now for McKeon. Wild Things up 4-2 here in the top of the 5th. Devine set. And the 1-2. And a swing and a miss by McKeon. He strikes out. And the inning is over. But the Wild Things do get a run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. And after 4.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Lake Erie 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here in the bottom of inning number 5. Your Washington Wild Things currently lead this one 4-2 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Brandon Hinkle back out there for his 5th inning of work. Hinkle 1-2-3 inning last time in the 4th. As he got Brendan Constantino to fly out, Parker Norris grounded out, and Brady North popped out to end things in the 4th. Due up here in the 5th to face Hinkle will be Parks Jordan, Connor Oliver, and Carlos Avila, 9-1-2, due up to face Hinkle. And ever since that first inning, Hinkle has calmed down a little bit. He allowed the 1 run in the first inning, just the solo home run in inning number 3. Other than that, was pretty effective, and then the 1-2-3 inning last time out. So hopefully Brandon Hinkle's settling in as he's going through his warm-up tosses here. All Sunday home games are donation Sundays this season, brought to you by Goodwill. Fans are encouraged to bring gently used items to the park on Sundays and enter to win prizes courtesy of Goodwill. Also on Sundays, bring your church bulletin to the park, and we'll give you a $2 discount on your tickets. There's a couple of good giveaways, including also the Kids Club days are on Sunday. So a lot going on Sunday. Donation Sundays, a $2 off tickets if you bring your church bulletin, and also the Kids Club days. The next Sunday home game this Sunday, June 19th, against the Windy City Thunderbolts. It'll be Game 3 of a 3-game series at Consol Energy Park. So Parks Jordan stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th. Jordan 0 for 1 so far, and in last night's game, ended up going 0 for 2, a fly out and a strikeout. The pitch, and that one's in there for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the account. Another move made by the Lake Erie Crushers today. They released outfielder Daniel Aldrich and signed outfielder Cody Harold. So a roster move for Lake Erie today, as Aldrich pinch hit for Jordan last night. Here's the 0-1. Jordan takes this one in the zone as well, no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count, nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Hinkle set, here's the 0-2. And this one's taken in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hinkle tried to get Jordan to chase. but Jordan wisely laying off. Bottom of the fifth, Wild Things lead 4-2 here at All-Pro Freight Stadium. Here's the 1-2. And this one grounded to second base. Brian Hard charging. Has it, throw on to first. And that's out number 1. 4-3 on the putout. And there's one away here in the bottom of the fifth. It'll bring up the center fielder, Connor Oliver. Oliver 1 for 2. A solo home run in the top of inning number 3. Or the bottom of inning number 3. As that at that point put the Lake Erie Crushers within 1. It was 3-2. The Wild Things added 1 last inning. The score now sits at 4-2. Oliver, the leadoff hitter in every game against the Washington Wild Things this season. Wild Things currently lead the season series with the Lake Erie Crushers. 2-1 this year against the Crushers. Hinkle looking in. Has his sign for McKeon. Here's the pitch. And that one is low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Brian O'Keefe was warming up earlier for the Washington Wild Things. Currently no action out there right now. Hinkle looking in. And the 1-0. And this ball's popped up and it'll go into the seats foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 out. Connor Oliver, the batter. Brandon Hinkle on the mound. Hinkle making his 3rd start. He's set. Here's the 1-1. And this one's fouled off of Connor Oliver. It hit off his forearm. That never feels good. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oliver walking around home plate, shaking that one off. He fouled the ball off and hit home plate and then came right up and got him in the forearm. So Oliver stepping back in. 1-2 the count. Hinkle looking into McKeon. Here's his sign, the 1-2. And a half-hearted swing and a foul tip as he just did get a piece of that ball. And the count sticks at 1 ball and 2 strikes. A very ugly swing there by Connor Oliver. It bounced before the plate. And Oliver, kind of half-hearted swing, lucky to get a piece of it. Alex McKeon had something in his eye, went to the mound to talk to Hinkle, and Hinkle got it out for him. So McKeon's all right. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Wild Things lead 4-2 here over the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Game 3 can be heard tomorrow afternoon, 2:05 first pitch. Hinkle looking in, has his sign, the 1-2. And this ball fouled off towards the seats. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 1 out. Sam Agnew-Wheeland getting his first start of the 2016 season tomorrow night. He has appeared in a game. Pitched 1 2/3 innings, just giving up 1 run out of the bullpen his last time. Hinkle set, here's the 1-2. And this ball hit to center field. Jamal Austin a couple steps back and now over, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 2. Hinkle's retired 5 straight here in the 5th, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Carlos Avila. Avila, no official at-bat yet. He's walked both times up. He was picked off at first base in the 3rd inning and walked and scored a run in the 1st. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. 4-2, the Washington Wild Things lead the Lake Erie Crushers. Hinkle set, here's the pitch. And this one's taken low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Brandon Hinkle's pitch. And that one's a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, 2 outs from All-Pro Freight Stadium. Hinkle, ever since the 3rd inning, really calmed down. As we said, set down 5 Crushers in a row. A bunt here by Carlos Avila, but he pulls back and takes a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, 2 away. Brandon Hinkle on the mound for your Washington Wild Things. Making his 3rd start of the year. Currently 2 runs on 2 hits. Here's the 2-1. And this ball popped up. Right field, Dave Popkins will camp under it, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 3. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Hinkle here. As after 5 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose Pro Grass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 6, and your Wild Things currently lead this one 4-2. Pitching change for the Lake Erie Crushers. Now on the mound, Ryan Richardson. Richardson enters this one, no record, a .432 ERA. Appearing in his 12th game, has thrown 8 1/3 innings of work, giving up 4 runs, 4 earned on 8 hits, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. The third pitcher used here by Lake Erie. Final line on Mike Devine. Devine went 2 innings, giving up 1 run. It was earned on 1 hit, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So Ryan Richardson taking over. The men to face him here in the 6th, Andrew Heck, Austin Wobrock, and Jamal Austin, 8, 9, and 1, due up for the Wild Things. Wild Things lead 4-2. As Andrew Heck stepping in so far, 1 for 1. Single in the 2nd and walked in inning number 4. Looks to get things started here in the top of the 6th. Heck coming into this game, just hitting .171, no home runs, and 4 RBIs. Richardson pitched a scoreless 9th inning last night, just giving up 1 hit. Richardson set. Here's the pitch to Heck. And Heck, a soft line drive, shallow right. Norris charging, and he will make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 away for Richardson here in inning number 6. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock 0 for 2, fly out and a strikeout in this one. As Heck flies out on just 1 pitch. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network here from All-Pro Freight Stadium. Your Washington Wild Things taking on the Lake Erie Crushers in game 2 of 3. Richardson set. Here's the pitch. And Wobrock takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things took game 1 of this series by a score of 5-1 last night. Here's Richardson's 0-1. Wobrock grounded on the right field line and foul. Count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, just 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Andrew Heck, a 1-pitch fly out. As Wobrock, the second-year man on this Wild Things team, at the plate. Richardson looking in, has his sign, and the 0-2. And this one's outside for Wobrock, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wobrock not offering on that outside pitch. Richardson has his sign and the 1-2. And this ball popped up, foul territory. Juan Avila giving it a look, but it will go into the stands foul. Count sticks at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Ryan Richardson in here for the 6th. The third pitcher used by the Lake Erie Crushers tonight. Used 7 last night. Richardson set. Here's the 1-2. And Wobrock, a ground ball to the right side. Handled over there by Carlos Avila. Throw to first. Pulls north off the bag, but he will tag Austin Wobrock. And that's out number 2. 4-3 on the putout. And there are 2 away for the Wild Things. That'll bring up the center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin so far today, 1 for 3. Doubled and scored a run in the first. Flew out in the third. And popped out in the 4th. Austin, the Wild Things center fielder. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Wild Things lead 4-2. Richardson set. Here's the pitch. And Austin, a soft ground ball to short. Constantino waits for the hop throw to first. and just does get Jamal Austin at first base. The throw might have beat him by a step, and the side is retired. 1, 2, 3 go the Wild Things here in the 6th, and after 5.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 6, and your Wild Things still hold a 4-2 lead. Last inning for Brandon Hinkle, another 1-2-3 inning as he set down 8 straight Lake Erie Crushers here, going back to the bottom of inning number 3. He got Parks Jordan to ground out, then he got Connor Oliver to fly out, and Carlos Avila flew out to end the bottom of the 5th. Due up here in the 6th, for the Crushers, Jose Barraza, Juan Avila, and William Beckwith, 3, 4, and 5 to face off against Brandon Hinkle. So Hinkle, after a rough start, has settled down here and has turned this one into an actual really good start. He's just given up the 2 runs on 2 hits. He has not struck out a batter and has walked 3 on the night. July 9th is going to be a special one at Consol Energy Park. It's Cicada Night. Word is the team is changing its name due to the influx of cicadas here in Washington County. There'll be a special jersey auction and more. Plus, there'll be an ugly Christmas blanket giveaway to the first 1,000 fans. Get your tickets today for Cicada Night at Consol Energy Park. Leading things off for the Crushers here in the bottom of the 6th, Jose Barraza. As Barraza in this one is 1 for 2. Reached base both times. Reached on a single in the first and grounded to a fielder's choice in inning number 3. A hot one here at All-Pro Freight Stadium. It was just about 88 degrees at the high temperature today. Swing and a miss by Barraza. No balls and a strike. It's really hot here in Avon, Ohio. It has since cooled down as the sun has began to set behind the left field side of the stadium. Hinkle set. Here's the 0-1. And Barraza, a fly ball to left field down the line. Heck going over, and he will make the catch. And that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. So Barraza gives that ball a ride, but unfortunately for him, it is a fly out here to start the bottom of the 6th. That'll bring up the third baseman, Juan Avila. Avila 0 for 2. Fly out and a line out so far in this one. Avila 1 for 3 in last night's ball game. So far, 1 for 5 in the series against the Wild Things. Hinkle set. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike on the Lake Erie third baseman. Hinkle set. Here's the 0-1. Another swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. So quickly, Hinkle ahead here 0-2. And as we said, when Hinkle's ahead, he's very good. As these last couple innings, he's been ahead of batters, and it has served him well on the mound. The 0-1. This one grounded to shortstop. Wolbrock has it. His throw on to first, and that's out number 2 here. 6-3 on the ground out. There's 2 away here in the 6th, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, William Beckwith. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Brandon Hinkle, impressive since inning number 3. He's retired 10 straight Lake Erie Crushers. Since the Jose Barraza fielder's choice, that was the last man to reach base against Hinkle. William Beckwith today 0 for 1. A ground out and a walk. Hinkle set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Beckwith. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Colin Stanley up and ready in the Wild Things bullpen. Here's Hinkle's 0-1. And that one bounces up to the plate. Bounced in the grass area before home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Hinkle set. Here's the pitch. And that one bounces as well. Bounced at home plate. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count, 2 away, bottom of the 6th. Wild Things lead 4-2 here at All-Pro Freight Stadium, just off of I-90 here in Ohio, the 2-1. And that one's a called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count goes even. Beckwith looking back and disagreeing with the home plate umpire. Tonight, that's Andy Dodonis. Grant Henderson out in the field was behind home plate last night. Hinkle setting the 2-2. And a ground ball fouled on the right field line. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 outs. Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow afternoon. 2:05 first pitch. Sam Agnew-Whelan making his first start for the Wild Things tomorrow. The 2-2. And that one's outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. McKeon having to dive to catch that one. 3-2 the count. Brendan Constantino, the on-deck batter, if Beckwith should reach. Hinkle set. Here's the 3-2. And that one just low for a ball. So a walk to Beckwith. The 4th walk of the day for Brandon Hinkle. And that ends a string of 10 straight men retired. And manager Greg Langman coming out to the mound. We'll see if we have a pitching change here. And it looks like we will. So we're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. Wild Things lead 4-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and a pitching change for your Washington Wild Things. Now coming on to work is Colin Stanley. Stanley enters this game with a record of 1-1, a 4.26 ERA, appearing in his 9th game. Has thrown 12 2/3 innings of work, giving up 6 runs, all earned on 12 hits, 5 walks, and 10 strikeouts. His last time out, gave up 3 runs in his appearance on a 3-run home run. So looking to clean things up here this time out. Brandon Hinkle, final line. Not completely final yet. 5 2/3 innings of work, 2 hits, 4 walks. Has given up the 2 runs, 2 earned so far. Is responsible for William Beckwith on first base. The first man due up to face Colin Stanley will be the shortstop, Brendan Constantino. Constantino stepping in on day 0 for 2. Now facing off against the new pitcher, Colin Stanley, the second man used for the Wild Things. Lake Erie has used 3 pitchers so far. Colin Stanley, the right-hander, 1-1, 4.26 ERA coming into the game now. Stanley looks into McKeon. Has his sign. He's set. Checks Beckwith. And the pitch. And that ball's outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Brendan Constantino. 1-0 the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Wild Things lead 4-2. Stanley looking in. Checks Beckwith at first. Has his sign. And the 1-0. And this ball lined over the head of Ricky Rodriguez down the line and left. And that's a base hit for Brendan Constantino. A single, and now there's runners at first and second with 2 away. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Parker Norris. Norris on the day, 0 for 2. So the first man, Colin Stanley, faces singles off him. And Parker Norris, 0 for 2, 2 ground outs on the day. Bottom of the 6th, Wild Things lead 4-2 here from All-Pro Freight Stadium. Wild Things 12-12 coming into the night. Lake Erie 13-10. Stanley set, here's the pitch. And that one's high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Colin Stanley looking to get back on track. Has allowed at least one run in his last two appearances. Stanley set, has his sign, and the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stanley trying to get the final out here in the 6th. Gave up a single to Brendan Constantino. Stanley set, and the 1-1. And this one taken inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. As Stanley trying to find the plate. Been a little wild coming out of the bullpen. Colin Stanley looking at Alex McKeon. Has his sign. He's set. And the 2-1. And this one line to left field. Andrew Heck coming on. He dives and he makes the catch. A diving play by Andrew Heck. And the inning is over. Put an exclamation point on that one. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. And after 6, the score. Washington Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same old's true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going into the top of inning number 7, the score, your Washington Wild Things lead this one 4-2. Another pitching change for the Lake Erie Crushers is coming on now. Chandler Jagodzinski. Jagodzinski, 1-1, 1 save on the year, an 0.94 ERA. Appearing in his 18th game, has thrown 19 innings of work, giving up 4 runs, 2 earned on 12 hits, 20 strikeouts to just 3 walks. So Jagodzinski, very good out of the bullpen for the Lake Erie Crushers. The first men to face him here for the Wild Things will be Ricky Rodriguez, Brian Haar, Dave Popkins, 2, 3, and 4, facing off against Jagodzinski here in the top of the 7th from All-Pro Freight Stadium. Sundays are Kids Club days at Consol Energy Park. Children 12 and under can join the club for free. They get lots of perks, including a t-shirt, giveaway items, and free tickets to all Kids Club days. For more information, log on to WashingtonWildThings.com or call the box office at 855-456-WILD. The Kids Club is sponsored by Kona Ice, Med Express, PA Leadership Charter School, Pepsi, and Frito-Lay. Ricky Rodriguez steps in to lead things off for your Wild Things here in inning number 7. Rodriguez so far 1 for 3 with an RBI ground out in the first. He singled and scored in the third and flew out in inning number 5. The first batter here to face Chandler Jagodzinski. Jagodzinski has his sign. He's set, and the pitch. Rodriguez takes inside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. For Jagodzinski, just 3 walks in 19 innings of work so far, making his 18th appearance. Jagodzinski has his sign, the 1-0. And a half-hearted swing there by Ricky Rodriguez, but he goes through, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jagodzinski, kind of submarine pitcher on the mound as he goes a little lower than his belt on his windup. Jagodzinski set, here's the 1-1. And that one's in there for a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. You don't see the submariner here a lot in the Frontier League. So it's going to take some getting used to for the Wild Things batters, seeing that release point coming from below the belt as opposed to up near the shoulder where they're used to. Here's the 1-2. And that one's fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And on that one, Jagodzinski turned into a traditional sidearmer, so he changes his release point. Sometimes he comes from the sidearm position. Other times, he comes in more of a submarine-type pitcher. Devin Davis out and working in the Wild Things bullpen. He would be coming on in the 7th. Jagodzinski's 1-2. And that one's low, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 80 miles an hour on that last pitch. From Chandler Jagodzinski. Jagodzinski, 6'1", 190 from Jacksonville, Florida, played for the Normal Corn Belters a year ago. Jagodzinski's 2-2. And Rodriguez takes this one outside. Full count here to start the inning to Ricky Rodriguez, and it's 3-2. Brian Haar, the on-deck batter for your Washington Wild Things. And a fireworks shot off out past I-90 beyond the right field bleachers. So surprise firework, the 3-2. And that one's fouled off to the screen. Count remained 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Had a fireworks night last night here at All Pro Freight Stadium. Pretty good fireworks show put on by Pyrotechnics here in Avon, Ohio. Wild Things next fireworks night this Friday, June 17th against the Windy City Thunderbolts. Here's the 3-2. And a called strike 3. Ricky Rodriguez started his walk down to first base, and they call him out on strikes. And it's the first strikeout for Chandler Jagodzinski. Rodriguez can't believe it. Mike Marshall reacted down there at first base, the hitting coach for these Wild Things. He was in disbelief as well. And then over at the third baseman, Brian Haar. Haar 2 for 2. A single and a 2-run home run. He's also walked today, reached base all 3 times. First time facing Jagodzinski. Jagodzinski set, here's the pitch. And Haar checks his swing, takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Wild Things lead 4-2 here in the top of the 7th. 1 out from All Pro Freight Stadium. Jagodzinski set in the 1-0. Haar fouls this one away, back over the sweet level. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, 1 away. The right-hander Chandler Jagodzinski on the mound versus the right-handed batter Brian Haar. Jagodzinski looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. Haar takes this one inside as well, 2 balls and a strike. And they've been pitching Brian Haar very carefully since that 2-run homer he hit back in the 3rd inning. It was his 6th home run of the year, which leads the Washington Wild Things. Jagodzinski's 2-1. Haar a swing and a miss, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big cut there by Brian Haar. And the count goes to 2-2. 1 out, top of the 7th. Brian Haar at the plate. Jagodzinski has his sign. He's set. And the 2-2. Haar a swing and a miss. And he strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts to start inning number 7 for Chandler Jagodzinski. The first one a called 3rd strike. This one a swinging 3rd strike by Brian Haar. And that'll bring up the right fielder Dave Popkins. Popkins 0 for 3. Popped out in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, and reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run in inning number 5 on the Nick Ferdinand RBI single. Jagodzinski set, here's the pitch. Popkins ground to the right side. Carlos Avila handles it, throwing to first, and that's out number 3, 4-3 on the putout. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the 7th, and after 6.5 to score, your Wild Things lead this one 4-2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here in the bottom of inning number 7. Your Washington Wild Things currently lead this one 4-2. New pitcher on for the Wild Things, Devin Davis, coming out of the bullpen. Davis, no record, a 3.75 ERA, appearing in here in his 11th game. Has thrown 12 innings of work, giving up 5 runs, all earned on 15 hits. 9 strikeouts to just 5 walks on the year. Devin Davis, the new pitcher. Final line on Colin Stanley, just a third of an inning worked, giving up the 1 hit, 1 walk, and did not allow a run to score. Or excuse me, he did not walk a batter on just the 1 hit through his third of an inning. Wild Things lead 4-2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Due up to face Davis is a pinch hitter, Parks Jordan, and then Connor Oliver. The pinch hitter, Brian De La Rosa, pinch hitting for Brady North. So De La Rosa coming in to pinch hit here in inning number 7. De La Rosa comes into the game hitting 200, no home runs, 2 RBIs. In last night's game, De La Rosa was 1 for 4, reached base twice. So De La Rosa pinch hitting for North. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. No balls and a strike here on De La Rosa. First man to face Devin Davis. Davis, a quick worker on the mound. He's set. Here's the 0-1. And that one's a called strike as well. No balls and 2 strikes. Davis, a little rust stretch there for a while, but the last two outings have been scoreless for him on the mound. Davis set. Here's the 0-2. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tried to get De La Rosa chasing, but could not do it. Davis looking in, has his sign, the 1-2. And this one's fouled back to the screen. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Devin Davis standing in there at 6'3", 235 from Mountain Brook, Alabama. The southpaw on the Wild Things bullpen. Davis looks in. Here's his sign, the 1-2. And this ball hit the right field. Popkins a couple steps over, and he will make the catch. That is out number 1. Davis retires the first man he faces here in the 7th, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Parks Jordan. Jordan on the day 0 for 2. Grounded out the first in inning number 2. Grounded out the second in inning number 5. Up here against Devin Davis. Left-handed batter versus left-handed pitcher. Davis set. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Here, game 2 between the Wild Things and the Crushers. This one fouled off, and the count goes to 0-2. Davis working quickly on the mound as always. Has gotten ahead of the first 2 men he's faced out of the bullpen tonight. Davis set. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Jordan, and there are 2 away here in inning number 7. This is the Devin Davis we were used to seeing in the beginning of the season. Come in, do what he's needed to do, and get off the mound. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Connor Oliver. Oliver 1 for 3. A solo home run back in the 3rd inning. Davis has 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Oliver takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Wild Things lead 4-2 over the Lake Erie Crushers here in Game 2. They're looking to get a series win with a victory today. Here's the 0-1. And that one's in the dirt. Bounces up to the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Devin Davis on the mound for the Wild Things. Davis has his sign, the 1-1. And this one grounded over to the left side. Rodriguez handles it at third. Throw across to first is not going to be in time. This is a very slow hit ground ball, an infield single for Connor Oliver, and the Lake Erie Crushers have a man on with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Carlos Avila. Avila 0 for 1. 2 walks in this game. He scored the first run of the game for the Lake Erie Crushers. And also has flown out after his 2 walks. So Connor Oliver, after the hit, takes his lead from first. Oliver taking off for second. Pitch is low. The throw down is not in time. Connor Oliver in there with a stolen base. Very good jump by Connor Oliver at first base. Took off right as Davis started into his motion and got second base. It's the 5th steal for Oliver on the season. Davis looking in, has his sign. Checks second. Here's the 0-1. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. That first pitch was at the knees. And then that one low from Davis. Davis set. Here's the 1-1. And that one low as well. Gets away from McKeon. And that will allow Oliver to move up. Pass ball there on Alex McKeon. 2-1 the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Lake Erie has a runner at third. Connor Oliver singled, stole second, and moved up on the pass ball. Davis set the 2-1. And that one's in there for a strike. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Wild Things lead 4-2. The pitch. And this one grounded to the left side. Wobrock handles it. Throw to first. And that is out number 3. So no runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 7, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the top of inning number 8, a couple of changes for the Lake Erie Crushers. As Juan Avila moving from third base to first base. Brendan Constantino moves from short to third. And Max Casper enters the game at shortstop. And the lineup, Max Casper will go into the number 8 spot in the lineup as Brian De La Rosa pinch hit fly out for him. Same pitcher is Chandler Jagodzinski as he's in for his second inning of work here against the Wild Things. Due up to face him here in the 8th will be Logan Ox, Nick Ferdinand, and Alex McKeon. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Wild Things, leading 4-2 here in the top of inning number 8. If you haven't heard, country artist Chris Young will be in concert at Consol Energy Park on August the 25th. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. Come out for a great concert there. Chris Young has hits like I'm Coming Over and has a great duet with Cassidy Pope. So that'll be a great concert at Consol Energy Park. Logan Ox, the batter. Ox today is 0 for 2. He's popped out and grounded out, also walked and reached third base. So Chandler Jagodzinski in for his second inning of work facing Logan Ox. Wild Things up 4-2. Jagodzinski set, here's the pitch. And Ox takes this one for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things first baseman. Played first base in back-to-back nights here in the Lake Erie series. Jagodzinski has his sign and the 0-1. And Ox takes this one for strike 2. Right down the middle, no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count, nobody out here in the top of the 8th. Wild Things looking to add on some insurance runs. Jagodzinski has his sign, here's the 0-2. And that one bounces before getting to the plate. Hits off the mask of Jose Barraza. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Changes for the Lake Erie Crushers, as we said. Constantino from short to third. Avila from third to first. And Max Casper enters the game as the new shortstop. Jagodzinski set. Here's the 1-2. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Logan Ox at the plate. Jagodzinski looks in, has his sign. He's set. Here's the 2-2. And Ox a swing and a miss, so he strikes out. That's the 3rd strikeout for Jagodzinski here in 1 1/3 innings of work. And 1 away here in the top of the 8th. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Nick Ferdinand. Ferdinand is 1 for 3. He struck out, reached on an error, and had an RBI single in the 5th. He also stole a base. Right-handed batter versus right-handed pitcher Jagodzinski. Jagodzinski has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. Ferdinand takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. No action out there in the Wild Things bullpen, so it looks like Devin Davis will get a chance to pitch in the 8th inning as well. Jagodzinski set. Here's the 1-0. And Ferdinand takes this one for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Here in the top of inning number 8, 1 out from All-Pro Freight Stadium. Here's Jagodzinski's 1-1. Checks his swing, does Ferdinand, and it's outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count, 1 away. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. I'm Zach Ziegler. Jagodzinski has his sign. Here's the 2-1. Ferdinand checks his swing, but this one's called a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out already as Logan Ox struck out to begin the inning. Jagodzinski has his sign, and the 2-2. Ferdinand, a ground ball to the right side. Carlos Avila at second has it, throwing to first, and that's out number 2, 4-3 on the putout. And there are 2 away for the Wild Things. That'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon 0 for 2. Ground out, sack bunt, and a strikeout so far for the Wild Things catcher. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Wild Things lead 4-2 here from Avon, Ohio, home of the Lake Erie Crushers. A short 3-game road trip as they will return home Tuesday night to take on the Joliet Slammers. The pitch. McKeon checks his swing and takes low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Jagodzinski on the mound for the Lake Erie Crushers, switching between the submarine motion and the sidearm motion here against the Wild Things. Jagodzinski's 1-0. And a swing and a ground ball down the right field line. Juan Avila has it at first. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the 8th, and after 7.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfill playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 8th, and the score currently your Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 2. Devin Davis back out there to pitch the 8th. Came on in the 7th and got the pinch hitter Brian De La Rosa to fly out. Then Parks Jordan would strike out. He would allow a single to Connor Oliver, and Oliver would move up to third after a stolen base and a pass ball. And then Carlos Avila would ground out to end the 7th inning. Due up for the Crushers here in the 8th, Jose Barraza, Juan Avila, and William Beckwith, 3-4-5 to face Devin Davis. Davis looking for back-to-back scoreless outings as he's had a little bit of a rough patch. But last time out, no runs allowed. And looking to keep that streak going here tonight, pitching the 8th inning and the 7th inning. And Clearview Federal Credit Union has branches in Canonsburg, McMurray, and all over southwestern Pennsylvania. Visit clearviewfcu.org today to find one near you. And we'd like to remind you tonight's broadcast brought to you by Consol Energy, Bethany College, Clearview Federal Credit Union, PA Leadership Charter School, Pittsburgh Comics, TruePar America, Undo's, State Line Grocery and Hotspot, People's Natural Gas, Chick-fil-A, Henderson Brothers, Penn Station Subs, Washington County Tourism Promotion Agency, and AAA. Jose Barraza stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 8th for the Lake Erie Crushers. Crushers down 4-2 to your Washington Wild Things, as the Wild Things looking to take Game 2 of this 3-game series. They won Game 1 by the score of 5-1. Yesterday, Trevor Foss, a complete game effort, would be Foss's 4th straight complete game, as he, 9 innings, just gave up the 1 run against the Crushers. Tonight, Brandon Hinkle, 5 2/3 innings of work, gave up 2 runs in his start. And the first pitch is inside. The bat's pulled away by Jose Barraza. Got both a piece of Alex McKeon and home plate umpire Andy Dodonis, as both are walking off that one. 1 ball and no strikes. As Barraza was squaring around a bunt, then pulled the bat back, and it hit off McKeon's shoulder and then got the home plate umpire in the chest. Both are okay as they're walking back to the mound now. 1-0, nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Action in the Lake Erie bullpen is warming up out there. Is a right-hander. It looks like Juan Caballero. There's also action in the Wild Things bullpen. Davis set the 1-0. That one's inside as well. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Zach Groats warming up out there in the Wild Things bullpen. Swing and a miss here by Jose Barraza, and the count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, as Davis will wait for Barraza to step back in. Davis has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And Barraza takes a called strike. I guess it was 2-1 as the count goes to 2-2 now. Count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. And this one's fouled away back behind the stadium. Count sticks 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Devin Davis facing the leadoff man, Jose Barraza, here in the 8th. Davis looking into Alex McKeon. Has his sign. He's set. Here's the 2-2. And that one is high for a ball. Count goes to 3-2. Juan Avila, the on-deck batter for the Lake Erie Crushers. Davis looking in, waiting for Barraza. Davis, a fast worker. Here's the 3-2. And that one's low ball 4. A leadoff walk here in inning number 8. Gets the leadoff man on for the Crushers. And that'll bring up Juan Avila. Avila moved to first base last inning. And currently 0 for 3 on the day. A fly out, a line out, and a ground out. Moving to first base after Max Casper came into play short and Brendan Constantino moved to third. Davis set. Here's the pitch. And Avila gets hit by a pitch. That one gets Avila, and the first 2 men have reached here for the Lake Erie Crushers. In inning number 8, 2 on, nobody out. And Greg Langbang coming to the mound. Most likely just for a chat here with Devin Davis, as Zach Groats not ready out in the bullpen. And as he does, gonna tell you a little bit about Greg Langbang. Managed the Traverse City Beach Bums before coming here to the Wild Things. He did have jobs in Major League Baseball as he coached in the the Cleveland Indians organization for 5 years. And he spent the last 2 years of his Major League career as a Cleveland Indians Major League replay coordinator, meaning he took a look at all the replays that the Cleveland Indians would challenge, and he would tell them whether or not to challenge the play. So Langben's a Major League experience. Also had a playing career. He pitched for 8 years in the minor leagues. He was with the Mets, Red Sox, and the Milwaukee Brewers. So that meeting on the mound is over. Jose Barraza stands at second, Juan Avila at first. Nobody out, and William Beckwith, the designated hitter, coming up. Beckwith represents the go-ahead run for the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things up 4-2, nobody out here in the 8th. And Davis finds himself in a little bit of a sticky situation. Zach Groats continues to warm out in the Wild Things bullpen. Davis set. Barraza taking off for third. The pitch is a called strike, and Barraza took off early, so he'll get in there with the stolen base. For Jose Barraza, first and third now with nobody away. And for Jose Barraza, that's his first stolen base of the season. Davis set. Here's the 0-1. Beckwith pops this one up. It'll go into the stands and foul. So the count goes to 0-1 on Beckwith. No balls and a strike. Or it's 0-2 here on Beckwith, excuse me. Davis is 0-2. And a called strike 3. Beckwith called out on strikes. And there's one away here in the 8th. William Beckwith called out on strikes. The second strikeout today for Devin Davis. And now manager Greg Langbank coming to the mound. And this time we will have a pitching change. So we're going to take a break. Here you're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Pitching change for your Washington Wild Things. Now coming into the game, Zach Groats. Groats enters this one with a 1-0 record, 3 saves, no ERA yet on the year. He's appearing in his 11th game. He's thrown 9 2/3 innings of work, giving up no runs, no earned on 6 hits, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts. 1-0, 3 saves. Be looking, if he stays in the game now, we'll be looking for a 5-inning save here against the Lake Erie Crushers. His first 3 saves, the traditional 3-out, 1-inning saves. First man to face him here in this inning will be the third baseman, Brendan Constantino. Constantino started this game off playing at shortstop, would move over to third base as Max Casper came in to play short. So Constantino steps in, 1 for 3 on the day. 2 flyouts, flew out in the first, flew out in the fourth, and then singled in inning number 6. Zach Groats, the new pitcher, trying to keep this lead at 4-2 for your Wild Things. Groats set. Here's the pitch. And it's a called strike. No balls and a strike here on Constantino. 0-1 the count. Zach Groats, standing in 6'2", 200 pounds from Millbrae, California. Groats checks Avila at first. And the 0-1. Swung on and fouled away. Count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Jose Barraza stands at third for the Crushers. He walked. And Juan Avila at first. He was hit by a pitch. Zach Groats in to relieve. Devin Davis came in with first and third, 1 away. Groats set. Here's the 0-2. And this one is fouled away. Or no, it got him on the forearm. So another hit by pitch. The first man, Zach Groats, faces a hit by pitch, and the bases are full of Lake Erie Crushers here with just 1 out in inning number 8. That'll bring up Parker Norris, the right fielder. Thought that one got the knob of the bat on Parker Norris, as you heard a thud up here like a ball hitting wood, but it did get the forearm, home plate umpire Dodonis says, and bases are full of Crushers. That'll bring up Parker Norris. Norris 0 for 3, the pitch. And a ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 count, 4-2 Wild Things lead, but the Crushers have the bases loaded with 1 away. The tying run stands on second, go ahead run at first. Groats looking in. And time is called at the plate. Davis responsible for Jose Barraza at third and Juan Avila at second. Groats responsible for Constantino at first base. Bases are full for the Lake Erie Crushers without the courtesy of a hit. And Groats now wants to talk to McKeon as they can't figure out what sign they want. Barraza stands at third. He walked. Juan Avila at second. He was hit by a pitch. And now Brendan Constantino at first. He was hit by a pitch. Groats trying to get out of this jam. He has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Parker Norris. Max Casper, the on-deck hitter. Groats looking in. Has his sign for McKeon. He's set. And the 1-1. This one fouled away. Count goes to 1-2. Watch out over there at the Crushers dugout. It's off the chain link fence right in front of that dugout over there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here on Parker Norris, the batter. Norris robbed on a diving catch by Andrew Heck his last time up. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Bases loaded here. Groats set. And the 1-2. Swing and a foul ball right at the plate. As Norris just got a piece of that one. Groats trying to keep this deficit at 4-2. Or this lead at 4-2 for your Wild Things. Devin Davis responsible for Jose Barraza and Juan Avila at second and third. Groats responsible for Constantino. The pitch. Another pitch just fouled away as it'll go into the Wild Things dugout. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Groats pitched in the Houston Astros organization a year ago. 1-0, 3 saves. Groats set. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. A big strikeout here for Zach Groats. And it leaves the bases loaded with 2 outs. That'll bring up Max Casper. Casper's first at-bat of the day as he entered the game at shortstop. Last inning, hitting .301, no home runs, and 11 RBIs. So Zach Groats gets the big strikeout of Parker Norris, leaving the bases loaded with 2 away. And Groats now a chance to get out of this. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here. Zach Groats has been thrusted into the closer's role for the Washington Wild Things after struggles by Andrew Wick to start the season. Groats set the 1-0. Swing and a ground ball. Foul off to the left. And the count's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Max Casper actually got down in the right-handed batter's box and tried to help that ball go foul. 1-1, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Wild Things lead 4-2. Lake Erie Crushers have the bases loaded as Devin Davis walked Jose Barraza, then hit Juan Avila with a pitch. Zach Groats came in after 1 out and hit Brendan Constantino with a pitch, then got Parker Norris to strike out. Max Casper at the plate. Groats has his sign. He's set. Checks third. The 1-1. This ball grounded back to the mound. Groats has it. His flip on to first is in time, and that is out number 3. No runs in the inning on no hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. After 8, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Lake Erie Crushers 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings. plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the ninth, and your Washington Wild Things currently lead this one 4-2. New pitcher for the Lake Erie Crushers coming in, Keegan Gadotti. Gadotti 1-0 with a 3.46 ERA, appearing in his 16th ball game, has thrown in 13 innings, given up 9 runs, 5 earned on 15 hits, 6 walks, and 11 strikeouts for Gadotti. Final line on Chandler Jagodzinski. 2 innings pitched, not giving up a run on no hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. The first men to face Gadotti here in the ninth will be Andrew Heck, Austin Wobrock, and Jamal Austin, 8, 9, and 1. Due up for the Wild Things as they look to add insurance. Zach Groats came in the bottom of the 8th and got out of a big jam. Bases were loaded with 1 away. He struck out Parker Norris and got Max Casper to ground out to end the inning. The first pitch here from Gadotti is a ball, 1 ball, no strikes on Andrew Heck. Gadotti has his sign and the 1-0. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Andrew Heck at the plate. Getting a start here tonight. Here's the pitch. And that one's a called strike. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Gadotti on the hill. 1-0, 3.46 ERA. Standing in there at 6'3", 215 from Elizabeth, Colorado. Gadotti has his sign. He's set. Here's the 2-1. And Heck, a ground ball to short. Casper charging in. He has it. Throw on to first. And that's out number 1 here in inning number 9. 6-3 on the putout. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock 0 for 3. Flew out to left in the second. Struck out in the 4th. And grounded out in inning number 6. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Wild Things lead 4-2 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Gadotti has his sign. Here's the pitch to Wobrock. Swung on and missed. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Here from All-Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio, home of the Lake Erie Crushers. Gadotti has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-1. Wobrock takes this one low. Skips back to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1. Gadotti, the 5th pitcher used here by the Lake Erie Crushers. They used 7 last night. Gadotti's 1-1. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Manager Chris Magardo, known for using a bunch of pitchers. He did so in the first series the Wild Things played in Consol Energy Park against these Lake Erie Crushers. The 1-2. Wobrock checks his swing but takes this one low for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 3 tomorrow afternoon at 2:05. Sam Agnew Wieland gets the start on the mound. The 2-2. And Wobrock a liner to left field. This one will get down in the left center field gap. Wobrock takes a big turn at first, but will be held there on the throw. So a 1-out single by Austin Wobrock gives the Wild Things a base runner, and that'll bring up the center fielder Jamal Austin. Austin 1 for 4. Doubled and scored a run in the first, flew out in the third, popped out in the 4th, and grounded out in inning number 6. Wild Things lead 4-2 here against the Lake Erie Crushers in the top of the 9th. Gadotti's pitch. Austin takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1, 1 away. Gadotti set. Checks Wobrock. And the 0-1. Austin takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Wild Things looking to add insurance. Gadotti set the 1-1. And that one's inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Austin Wobrock, the runner at first. He singled. Gadotti set. And the 2-1. Austin takes this one outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. Wolbrock 4 stolen bases at first base. Jamal Austin 10 stolen bases. He's at the plate. Gaddati's 3-1. Wolbrock taking off for second. The pitch is a called strike. The throw down. And Wolbrock in there as the throw is bobbled by Max Casper at short. So Wolbrock swipes his 5th bag of the year. And there's a runner at scoring position with 1 away for Jamal Austin. 3-2 the count. Ricky Rodriguez, the on-deck hitter. Here, Austin Wolbrock moving up to second, stealing a base after he singled. Gaddati set, checks Wolbrock to 3-2. Austin a chopper to shortstop. Casper bare hand, throw to first, and just does get Jamal Austin. And that's out number 2. Another very close play at first for Jamal Austin. But he's called out. Wolbrock moves up to third on the play. There's a runner at third with 2 away, and that'll bring up Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez 1 for 4. RBI ground out in the first, singled and scored a run in the third, flew out in the 5th, and struck out in the 7th. Gaddati set, here's the pitch. And a swing and a foul ball by Ricky Rodriguez. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. It's Jose Barraza going out to talk to Gaddati, giving the home plate umpire some time as he got hit with that foul ball. 0-1, 2 outs. Austin Wolbrock stands at third base. He singled, stole second, and moved up on the ground out by Jamal Austin. There are 2 away, and Ricky Rodriguez at the plate. Rodriguez drove in his 10th run of the year in the first inning. It was the first run of the game for your Washington Wild Things. Gaddati on the mound facing Ricky Rodriguez. Gaddati has his sign, checks Wolbrock at third, and the 0-1. Rodriguez a swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. For Gaddati, 11 strikeouts to 6 walks. Ricky Rodriguez looking to come through with a runner at third and 2 outs. Gaddati set, here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss, Rodriguez strikes out, and the inning is over. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 8.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 2. On to the bottom of the 9th, you're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 9th, and your Wild Things currently lead this one 4-2 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Zach Groats back out there. Came in last inning in a sticky situation. The bases were loaded, or it was first and second with 1 out. He hit the first man he faced, Brendan Constantino. The bases were full with 1 out. Then he struck out Parker Norris and got Max Casper to ground out to end the inning. So he's in now, looking for his 4th save of the year, has 3 saves already and 3 chances. And due up to face him here in the 9th, Parks Jordan, Connor Oliver, and Carlos Avila. 9, 1, and 2 due up for the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow afternoon, 2:05 p.m. first pitch. Sam Agnew-Wieland on the mound for your Washington Wild Things, taking on Jordan Krause for the Lake Erie Crushers. Agnew-Wieland has appeared in a game for the Wild Things, coming off the suspended list before the last homestand. He's thrown in 1 2/3 innings, giving up just the 1 run. It was earned on 2 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, a .750 ERA, but nothing he can't change in the start tomorrow. So Parks Jordan leads things off here for the Lake Erie Crushers in the bottom of the 9th with his team down 2. Your Wild Things lead 4-2. Zach Groats looking for save number 4. Parks Jordan grounded out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 5th, and then struck out in inning number 7. Groats on the mound. In the closer's role, Andrew Wick was there at the beginning of the season. Wick struggled, so Groats took over the pitch. And that one is Just low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Groats set. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there this time for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1. Nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth. Your Wild Things lead 4-2. Groats is 1-1. And that one's in there for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Groats a big strikeout last inning with the bases loaded and only 1 away. Got Parker Norris to strike out. Groats' 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a foul ball off the mask of Alex McKeon behind the plate, so the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Groats on the mound. Nobody out. Bottom 9. Wild Things looking for their 13th win of the year, looking to go above 500. Groats set. Here's the 1-2. Checks his swing, and it's a called strike 3. Groats gets the strikeout, and there's 1 away here in the bottom of the ninth. That'll bring up the center fielder, Connor Oliver. Oliver today, 2 for 4. Grounded out in the first, hit a solo home run in the third, flew out in the fifth, and singled and stole a base in inning number 7. So Groats gets the first man swinging here in the bottom of the ninth. Facing Connor Oliver. 4-2 Wild Things lead. 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth. Groats looking for save number 4. He's set. Here's the pitch. That one is just high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Groats has yet to give up a run this season, as 10 straight scoreless outings out of the bullpen to start things. The 1-0. This one line foul into the seats. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 91 on that last pitch from Zach Groats. Groats looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-1. And this ball hit the right field. Popkins coming in a couple of steps. He'll make the catch, and that is out number 2. 2 away here in the bottom of the ninth for the Lake Erie Crushers, and that'll bring up their last chance, Carlos Avila. Avila on the day walked and scored in inning number 1, walked in inning number 3, flew out in inning number 5, and grounded out in inning number 7. Facing Zach Groats with 2 outs. 4-2 Wild Things lead here in the bottom of the ninth. Groats looking in, has his sign, the pitch. And this one's a ball inside, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count, the 5th at-bat today for Carlos Avila. Here's the 1-0. Bunting pulls the bat back but takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Avila shaking his head at that one. 1-1, 2 outs. Groats set. Here's the pitch. This one grounded to third. Ricky Rodriguez, a nice pick. Throw across to first. And the scoop not made by Logan Ox at first base. So Carlos Avila reaching on an error. As it'll probably be an E5 as that throw was in the dirt by Rodriguez. A nice pick made by Rodriguez. But the throw just too low, and Ox couldn't handle it at first base. That'll bring up Jose Barraza, the catcher. Barraza singled in the first. Reached on a fielder's choice in inning number 3. Flew out in the 6th. And walked and stole a base in inning number 8. Barraza representing the tying run. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Wild Things lead 4-2. Groats set. Checks first. Here's the pitch. And it's a called strike. No balls and a strike here on Barraza. An error charge to Ricky Rodriguez. Groats looking in to the Lake Erie catcher. Has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-1. Barraza, a chopper. Right out in front of the mound. Groats gets it. Flip. Takes the first himself. And you can put it in the books. Your Wild Things win Game 2 here from Lake Erie. Final score 4-2. Zach Groats picks up his 4th save. Brandon Hinkle gets his 2nd win of the season, evens his record at 2-2. Keep it right here on the MSA Sports Network. Washington Wild Things postgame show coming up. You've been listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. The final score, your Washington Wild Things take Game 2 of this 3-game series by a score of 4-2. Brandon Hinkle gets the win. He improves to 2-2. The loss going to, Brett Sullivan. He goes to 0-1. Zach Groats picks up his 4th save, a 5-inning save in this contest. The scoring recap here on the post-game show. Wild Things would score the first run of the game. In the top of the first, Jamal Austin would double, and he would move to third on a wild pitch. He'd be brought home on an RBI groundout by Ricky Rodriguez. Your Wild Things would lead 1-0. Brian Hard would single, and Dave Popkins would pop out. Logan Ox would pop out to end the inning. Then in the bottom of the first, the Lake Erie Crushers respond. Carlos Avila, a 1-out walk. Jose Barraza would single, so runners at first and second. Carlos Avila would move up on the flyout by Juan Avila, so they'd put runners at first and third with 2 outs. William Beckwith would walk, and a wild pitch would score Carlos Avila, so the score would go to 1-1. Then, in the top of inning number 3, with 1 out, Ricky Rodriguez would single, and Brian Harr came through his 6th home run of the season, a 2-run shot that gave the Wild Things a 3-1 lead. Popkins would strike out, and Logan Ox would ground out to end things there. The Crushers would respond in the bottom of the third as the first batter, Connor Oliver, hit a solo shot. Oliver's 4th home run of the season made the score 3-2. Then the Wild Things added on in inning number 5 as Brian Harr started things with a 1-out walk. Then Popkins hit into a fielder's choice. So 2 outs and runner at first. Logan Ox would walk to put runners at first and second. And Nick Ferdinand would come in with an RBI single, scoring Popkins and giving the Wild Things a 4-2 lead. Your Wild Things would win by that final score of 4-2. Your Washington Wild Things player of the game in this one, Brian Harr. Harr going 2 for 3, driving in 2 of the team's 4 home runs. A 2-run homer. It was his 6th home run of the year. Has now 17 RBIs after the 2-run shot. Came in with 5 and 15. Now 6 and 17 on the 2-run blast. Brian Harr earns the Wild Things player of the game. Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow afternoon. First pitch in that one, 2:05 on the mound for your Washington Wild Things will be Sam Agnew-Whelan, making his first start of the 2016 season. He has appeared in a game, has no record, a 7.50 ERA, giving up just 1 run in an inning and 2/3 pitched. So we'll see Sam Agnew-Whelan on the mound tomorrow night. He'll be opposed by Jordan Krause. Krause enters that game 1-1, a 2.45 ERA. For Krause, it'll be his 3rd start of the season. Final score in this one, Wild Things take Game 2. They win it 4-2, take the first 2 games of this 3-game series with the Lake Erie Crushers. Tomorrow night, 2:05 here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll round it out. Then your Wild Things back home as off day Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they take on the Joliet Slammers. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they take on the Windy City Thunderbolts. Your Wild Things above 500 now, 13-12, and the Lake Erie Crushers fall to 13-11. Tomorrow's game, as we said, here on the MSA Sports Network, 2:05. But the final score in this one, your Washington Wild Things win it 4-2. Thanks for listening to the MSA Sports Network, everyone. And we'd like to remind you that tonight's broadcast was brought to you by Consol Energy, Bethany College, Clearview Federal Credit Union, PA Leadership Charter School, Pittsburgh Comics, Trupar America, Undo's, State Line Grocery and Hotspot, People's Natural Gas, Chick-fil-A, Henderson Brothers, Penn Station Subs, Trupar and Washington County Tours and Promotion Agency, and AAA. Final score in this one, your Wild Things win it 4-2. Have a good night, everybody.